He is.
My bad.
Yep.
There you
By the
go.
way, I am number 2. Xenia Scouts Baseball is on the air. Hello and good evening, everyone. Alongside Riley Harshman, I am Charlie Danis. And tonight it is the Xenia Scouts taking on the Licking County Settlers. Well, Riley, while I was gone, it was a pretty good stretch for the Scouts. Went 3-1 over the last 4 games or so, and tonight they're looking for their 4th straight win.
Yeah, the Scouts were really on one while you were gone, Charlie. Lost that first one in Galleon, then went on to ring off 3 straight. Had a lot of very good hitting and a lot of very good pitching. Led to some quality wins for the Scouts.
So now the Scouts turn their attention to the Settlers of Licking County. The Settlers will have Dylan Ott leading off and playing in left field. Sam Wilson will be the second baseman. He'll bat second. Miguel Pimento will play at third. He'll bat third. Batting fourth and playing at first base will be Garrett Roberts. Batting fifth and playing in right field will be Turner Hill. And then batting sixth and playing in center field will be Austin White. Nathan Dill is a designated hitter. He'll bat seventh. Chad Harper is the catcher. He'll bat eighth. And Casimir Zabaskas will play at shortstop. The right-hander on the mound for the Settlers will be Luke Torbett. Meanwhile, the right-hander on the mound for the Scouts this evening, that will be Caleb Eater. And Eater delivers a first pitch strike underway here at Grady's Field. Quickly back at it. There's a long fly ball to left field, but getting under it will be Luke Boylston. And there is your first out of the game.
You know, Eater pitched last 6 days ago and got the Scouts' first win against the Locos. We'll look to continue off that good start last time, and we'll try to get another win here today against the Settlers.
The Scouts outfield looks like this. Boylston in left, Chambers in center, Wright is in right, Darnell at third, Orlando at shortstop, Tuttle at second, Lindsey at first, Regan is the catcher, and Caleb Eater is the right-hander. And Eater's definitely got to like this right here. One pitch, and it's one out as Dugan is able to get the ball, actually 2 away here in the top half of the first. So this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Caleb Eater, Riley. So 2 quick outs here, and maybe this could be, a vision of what may come here tonight.
Hopefully for the Scouts, Eater really likes, 3 pitches, 2 outs. He's got to like that a lot. Can get it out of this inning quickly, and Scouts offense can get it rolling in the bottom half of the first.
So now Eater will go to work on Miguel Pimento. Pimento, a third baseman for the Settlers, and there's a fly ball into right field. Going after it is Wright. He'll back up and make the catch. So a very quick inning for the Scouts, and most notably, Caleb Eater, as he's able to set the Settlers down 1, 2, 3. We head to the bottom half of the first. Settlers nothing. Scouts are coming to bat. We are heading to the bottom half of the first inning. Let's go ahead and get you the starting lineup for Xenia. Batting leadoff and playing in right field tonight for the Scouts will be Carson Wright. Batting second and playing in center field will be Chandler Chambers. Batting third and playing in the designated hitter role will be Ryan Bertelsman. Batting cleanup and playing at the catcher spot is Connor Regan. Batting fifth and playing in left field tonight will be Luke Boylston. The first baseman will be Jarrett Lindsey. He'll bat 6th in the Scouts lineup. The third baseman will be Dugan Darnell. He'll bat 7th. Nick Tuttle will be at second base. He'll bat 8th. And finally, in the 9-hole is the shortstop, Noah Orlando. Talked about how Caleb Eater was on the mound for the Scouts tonight. And now Xenia gets to take a look here at the right-hander, Luke Torbert. As Torbert is finishing his warm-up tosses to his catcher, Harper. And the way the Settlers defense looks like this, Torbert on the mound, Harper behind the dish at catcher, Pimento, Zabazic at shortstop, Wilson at second, Roberts is at first, and then Ott, White, and Hill left field to right field. So the first batter that Torbert will face is Carson Wright. And taking a look at the standings entering tonight's game, most specifically the Southern Division. Xenia entering with a record of 4-4, again trying to make it 4 straight wins. Trailing, let's see here, Galleon, who is 6-2, and then a first-place tie between Cincinnati and Southern Ohio, who are both 6-1. First pitch strike is taken by Wright, 0-1, the count.
You know, Wright squared out for a bunt there. Do not be surprised to be seeing that a lot from the scouts. They're very athletic, very quick, and will try to get on base any way they can.
0-1 pitch is on the way, and Wright swings, and this is going to be a high pop-up on the infield. Who's going to call for it? It's going to be the third baseman, Pimentel, and that is the first out of the frame.
Number 16, Chandler Chambers.
So now I'll bring Chandler Chambers to the plate. Playing in center field tonight for the Scouts. Xenia donning their navy blue jerseys this evening along with their white pants. As Chambers squares around, and he'll send a bunt out to the mound. Throw to first will be in plenty of time as Torbert was able to easily handle that. Scored that as a 1-3 putout for the second out.
And Chambers there broke the golden rule of bunting. Never bunt it back to the pitcher. Put it right back to the pitcher. And Torbert was able to make the easy play on that.
Ryan Bertelsmann now stepping in, and boy, it's been a very good year for Bertelsmann thus far. Right-handed batter, redshirt freshman out of Baylor University as he takes a strike from Torbert.
Yeah, Bertelsmann had a very good week last week, compiling a lot of hits, has a very good average right now for the Scouts.
Bertelsmann takes the ball outside, so now the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
We've seen Bertelsmann go a little more patient in his past couple games because we've seen him swing out a lot of first pitch strikes.
As that pitch is fouled off to the right, count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bertelsmann will now quickly get back into the right-handed batter's box against the right-hander Torbert, who quickly rocks and deals, and that pitch is in there for a call, strike 3. So just like the Settlers, the Scouts, they go down 1-2-3 in their first inning at bat. We head to the top half of the second. We still have no score between Licking County and Xenia. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the second here at Grady's Field. Still no score between Licking County and Xenia. And now Caleb Eder, the Xenia right-hander, will go to work against the right-handed batting Garrett Roberts, the Settlers' first baseman, who will take a strike from Eder. 0-1 the count. Roberts, Hill, and White, the scheduled hitters for the Settlers here in the top half of the second. Eder now dealing, and that's swung on a miss as Roberts has quickly dug himself an 0-2 hole. And boy, oh boy, Riley, I'm looking at the skies right now. They are starting to get dark in a very ominous way as the 0-2 pitch is hit, and Eder will easily field that one. He'll toss it over to first to Lindsay for the first out of the frame.
Yeah, as you said, partner, those clouds are dark, and they're looming over us as there are more clouds on the way. I was looking at the radar earlier. It looks like if we will be getting some storms coming through here, but we hope we can get as much baseball as we can.
So now Turner Hill will come to bat for the first time. Right fielder for Licking County. Eder kicks and deals, and that pitch is just outside for a ball. 1-0 the count.
Be looking for Eater in this start to use that changeup a little more effectively than in his last start. He said that to us in our post-game interview. They want to get that changeup working.
This will be a grounder out to second. The throw to first will be in time. Nice play by Tuttle as he made the play to his right for the second out of the frame.
So far here, Eater doing a very good job pitching to contact. Has 5 putouts on 10 pitches now.
Doesn't matter how you get the outs, whether it be via strikeouts or your defense helping you out, as long as you get those outs, that's the most important thing, and that's what Eater is doing so far. And now Austin White, the center fielder for the Settlers, will come to the plate. White, a right-handed batter. Rather tall fellow as well. As he squared around a bunt, but pulled it back just in time. 1-0 the count. Austin White plays at Fresno State out west. 6'1", 205 pounds, a junior for the Bulldogs. As that pitch is taken for a ball, 1-1 the count. As Caleb Eater, the Indiana Wesleyan product, continues to throw on the mound for the Scouts. Here's the 1-1. There's a liner. Oh, Tuttle was not able to make the catch, and as a result, White is going to reach safely. We're going to watch the scoreboard closely, and, well, they said that Tuttle should have made the catch. That's why they put an error up there, so go ahead and put E4 in your scorebooks wherever you are.
Tough play there by Tuttle, but he has to do a better job of getting his body in front of that so it doesn't get by him like it did. But nonetheless, the Eater's got 2 outs here, and I don't think he's too concerned with that runner on first.
Eater delivers now to Nathan Dill, the Settlers' designated hitter, and Dill will take a strike 0-1. So 2 gone here, a runner on first. So no score between the Settlers and the Scouts, and Caleb Eater would like nothing more than to keep it that way. Eater delivers, and that pitch misses. Throw down to first, and the runner is back in plenty of time. That was a strong throw that time by Connor Regan, the Wright State product, keeping him honest down there at first. So now Eater will refocus. Here comes the 1-1. And that's fouled back towards us, back to the screen, and now the count will move to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Told you that the Scouts are wearing the navy blue tops tonight. Meanwhile, Licking Valley has decided to go with the gray pants and the gray jerseys with red striping down the middle, red numbers, and red lettering on the front of the jersey. 1-2 pitch. And that is a foul ball. Dill just getting a piece of that one. Scouts looking to build upon a rather successful weekend. Took a couple games from the Hamilton Joes. Right in a 3-game winning streak, trying to make it 4 straight as that pitch is getting up high for a ball. 2-2 the count.
Regan keeping a good eye on those runners there. In Gallion and against the Joes, we saw how lethal Regan can be with his arm behind the plate, throwing out quite a few runners over the weekend, so be looking out for that today.
2-2 pitch. Runner going, and the pitch hit Dill square in the back. So Dill will trot on down to first after being hit by the pitch. White now at second because of that. He was taking off for second. Chad Harper, the catcher, now will come on, and now all of a sudden Lincoln County has something here offensively. As the lights have now come on at Grady's Field as the skies overhead continue to darken.
Eater just needs to keep doing what he's been doing here, keep pitching to contact. His defense back there will get him an out.
Eater to Harper. That swung on and missed. Eater was able to get the fastball by him on that time, so now he moves ahead 0-1. Eater sets. 0-1 pitch. That's a grounder up the first baseline, foul. Quickly 0-2 on Chad Harper.
Look for Eater here to start working that changeup as he gets far ahead in this count. Might try to use it on that outside corner, try to get this batter out here in Harper.
White takes his lead at second. Dill will do the same off of first. Eater with an 0-2 pitch. And that breaking ball was a little too high that time. 1-2 the count. Nathan Dill. Actually, excuse me, Chad Harper, the catcher for Licking County. Dill's down there at first.
You know, that base umpire, I've been looking at him. He's been looking behind him to the clouds, making sure no lightning has struck in the area, because that would not end this game, but delay it.
Pitch. And there is a base hit to center field. They're going to send the runner, and Licking County is going to take a 1-0 lead. Credit Chad Harper with an RBI single as he's able to knock in Austin White with that base hit as it falls in front of the center fielder Chambers.
Peter has that short memory here. Try to forget about that and get this last out here. He has 2 outs. Just need to trust in that defense. No Orlando over there at short giving some signs. They know what they're doing behind them.
Casimir Sabazic now at the plate, the Settlers shortstop, and there's a fly ball out to left field. Boylston, no, it's Orlando who comes out of nowhere to make the catch.
Another highlight play from the shortstop.
Noah Orlando continues to flash the glove for the Scouts, but not before the Settlers are able to score 1 run on 1 hit. They leave a couple men on base. We head to the bottom half of the second. It is Licking County 1, Xenia nothing. This is your home for Xenia Scouts baseball, the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
We ask that you evacuate the field and take appropriate shelter.
Heading out to the bottom half of the second here at Grady's Field. It is Licking County 1, Xenia nothing. Connor Regan, Scouts catcher, will not come to the plate. Regan entering play tonight with a .273 batting average. No homers, no RBIs. So he'll be looking to change that here this evening against Licking County. Back to work, the right-hander Torbert. And that is swung on and fouled near the plate. Count will move to no balls and 1 strike on the Scouts catcher, who plays his collegiate ball for the Wright State Raiders, who recently made the NCAA tournament this past season. The pitch. That's a high and inside for a ball. 1-1 the count on Connor Regan.
You know, Torbert with the breaking ball high there does not want to leave them up there all day, because that could result in a lot of deep balls for the Scouts.
Pitch is up high for a ball, and boy, oh boy, Torbert does not mess around on the mound. There's literally probably a 7 or 8 second delay until he finally delivers it to home plate. He is a quick worker out there on the mound as he delivers a ball. Low and outside, 3-1 the count now for Regan.
You know, pitching is all about creating your own pace so you can play the game at your own pace, and the batter has to do what they can to halt the pitcher's pace as well.
Regan takes a strike on the inside corner. Thought he had a walk that time, but he'll now have to come back to the batter's box.
You know, sometimes when batters take their walk early, the umpire takes offense to that sometimes and sometimes calls that pitch late, as did the umpire there.
So now Regan working with a 3-2 count against the right-hander Torbert. Torbert rocks and deals. That's a grounder up the third baseline foul. So we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Regan. Torbert has a sign. He deals. That is down low for a ball. So Regan able to coax a walk from the right-hander Torbert. First base runner of the night for the Scouts, and that'll bring up Luke Boylston.
Boylston's been swinging that very well his past couple games he's been in. We'll look to continue his hot streak here.
Boylston, big, tall guy that bats from the right side. Pitch, and Boylston fouls it off to the right. Boylston, in 4 games this year, batted .235, doesn't have a homer, does have an RBI. He'll now step into the batter's box once again. 0-1 pitch on the way from Torbert. That's inside. Nearly hit Boylston that time, although Luke didn't bat an eyelash. He just stood there and took the pitch.
Luke's a big boy up there and probably gotten hit by quite a few pitches over his career, so knows that it just goes away, that pain. Only hurts for a second, as coaches like to tell you.
1-1 pitch on the way. That's inside for a ball, 2-1 the count. Well, we've seen Xenia head coach Bubba Cates be very aggressive in situations like these, and this is a prime chance for a hit-and-run opportunity. Regan taking his lead off of first. 2-1 pitch on the way to Boylston. And Boylston swings and lets go with the bat. Missed the ball, and the bat went flying, too.
Seems to be an epidemic among Scouts hitters letting go of that bat up there in the batter's box. I think that's the 5th or 6th thrown bat we've seen so far this year.
Well, because it used to be that Connor Boswell would do that a lot.
Yeah, Boswell's done it a couple times. I think that's the first or second time I've seen Luke do it. I've seen someone else do it as well. Can't quite recall who it is now, but seems to be a trend going in the Scouts dugout. Who can throw the bat the farthest?
So now Torbert back to work on the mound. 2-2 pitch on the way to Boylston. This is swung on. It's a high pop-up down the left field line, and it is going to drop. Foul. Giving chase was Ott, the left fielder, but Ott was not able to get there in time, so Boylston will stay alive at least for one more pitch. By the way, this is the first start of the season for Torbert. He only pitched in one other previous game and only 1 inning. No strikeouts, no walks, no hits. 2-2 pitch on the way from Torbert. That's swung on, and that's going to hit the gap in right center field. Racing around second. Heading to third is Regan. And in to second with a double is Luke Boylston. Nice job. Nice piece of opposite field hitting by the Scouts left fielder, Luke Boylston. Now the Scouts are really cooking offensively. Runners at second and third, with still nobody out here in the bottom half of the second.
Boylston doing a great job there, being able to hit all parts of the plate there with 2 strikes, able to drive that outside pitch out into the right center gap, and able to pick up a double. Very good piece of hitting there by Boylston.
All right, so now the California boy, Jarrett Lindsay. From Point Loma, Nazarene, out near San Diego. He has a chance to help the Scouts to their first lead of the night as Xenia continues to trail Licking County 1-0. The pitch, and Lindsay had to lean out of the way of that one. A little bit of chin music from the right-hander Torbert. 1-0 the count.
Lindsay doing a good job. in his last appearance, picking up a couple hits. We'll look to build on that, as many Scouts hitters are.
1-0 pitch taken outside for a ball. So now it is 2-0 on Jarrett Lindsay. Lindsay hitting .333 so far on the year. Still looking for his first homer. Still looking for his first RBI. And boy, he's got a big opportunity to turn that 0 into a 1 or a 2 right here. 2-0 pitch. That's high and inside once again. And Lindsay has to lean out of the way of that bad boy as well. 3-0 the count on Lindsay, as Torbert is in trouble here. He's in danger of loading the bases with still nobody out here in the bottom half of the second. Torbert will look in for his side from his catcher, Harper. And now he has it. He'll set at the belt. Leg kick delivery, and that is a pitch in there for a call strike. So now a prime hitter's count right here for Lindsay. 3 balls, 1 strike on the Scouts' first baseman. We have usually seen Lindsay catching, but tonight we see him as a first sacker. Torbert with the 3-1 pitch. That is a foul ball off to the right, so now we will go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Jarrett Lindsay. As the wind is starting to pick up a little bit of a cold front coming through the ballpark. And that usually means, at least at this time of year, one thing and one thing only, rains are coming. But in the meantime, still playing baseball here in Xenia. Torbert with the payoff pitch. And that is inside. Lindsay will walk. Second walk of the inning for Torbert. And now the bases are loaded. Dugan Darnell will come to the plate, as there will now be a visit here on the mound by a member of the Licking County coaching staff trying to calm down the right-hander Torbert. Harper also in on the meeting as well.
You know, looking at this Scouts lineup today, see a couple differences. We usually see Burlesman in that cleanup, I should say, role at the 4 spot in the lineup, but today he's 3rd, and Chambers getting his first start in center. And Lindsay, as you said, partner, getting his first start at first base. So a couple changes defensively also in that lineup. That 4, 5, and 6 hitters aren't guys who we've seen really steal too much this year for the Scouts, but 1, 2, and 3 and 7, 8, 9 are our speedsters. So be looking for Coach Bubba Cates to be working through his lineup.
Meanwhile, Torbert will go to work here with the bases loaded, and he'll deliver another ball high and outside to Dugan Darnell. Darnell batting .091 in 6 games. No homers, does have 3 RBIs. Has a chance to double that total depending upon what kind of hit he gets here, potentially. And this will be a fly ball down the left field line, foul. Count will leave it at 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know, Darnell hasn't had the best start to the year. He would probably tell you that. But a hit in this situation could easily turn around his year and get him going on the right foot.
Darnell back in the left-handed batter's box. The Adrian, Michigan native looking to deliver for Xenia. Scouts trailing the Settlers 1-0. Scouts have a big chance here to grab their first lead of the game. Bases loaded. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the second. Torbert deals. That is swung on and missed by Dugan. That pitch, boy, the bottom fell out of that one right there as Darnell was completely fooled by a curveball. Count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Darnell will now call time.
Darnell there with that time call. Look to spice up the tempo. Hopefully get Torbert off his game a little bit and try to get a hit here.
1-2 pitch to Darnell. That is just outside for a ball. Darnell even thought about offering out that pitch, but he held back just in time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Torbert needing to make a big pitch here. Meanwhile, the Scouts, they're looking to make him pay here with the bases loaded and still nobody out. 2-2 on the way. And that is behind Darnell. I don't know how Harper was able to make the catch on that one, but he does not allow that ball to go to the backstop. And now, 3-2 pitch. You got to think that Torbert is coming with a fastball here, right, Riley?
Got to think, you know, whatever his most accurate pitch may be, got to think a fastball for most pitchers, but we'll see what Torbert has to deliver Darnell here.
3-2 pitch. And that is outside. Credit Darnell with an RBI walk, a bases-loaded walk. Coming in to score is Connor Regan. So that'll tie the game at 1 apiece. Bases will still be loaded with still nobody out here in the bottom half of the second. 1-1 game between the Settlers and the Scouts. So credit Darnell with his 4th RBI of the season on that one. Didn't necessarily get the hit, but did his part to drive in a run. So now Nick Tuttle will come to the plate. Tuttle, the second baseman for the Scouts. The pitch. It's a chopper over to second. Tuttle over to first, and they are going to be able to not get anybody out. Licking County will. As one more run crosses the plate, Boylston comes in to score at third. And boy, that was a slowly hit ground ball over the second baseman. Wilson tried to get the out at first, but Tuttle able to beat it out for an infield single. It's an RBI single for Nick Tuttle, and Xenia grabs its first lead of the night, 2-1 in favor of the Scouts.
You know, Wilson there, the second baseman for Licking County, has got to do a better job of charging that ball. Let that ball come to him, and Tuttle's got speed. So Tuttle able to get to first safely on Wilson, just lackadaisically playing that ball.
So now Noah Orlando coming to the plate, the shortstop, and he'll foul it off to the right.
We've seen Orlando be a lot more patient in his last few at-bats, and it has worked out for him. So we'll look to him to be patient here and find his pitch and drive it somewhere. The base is still juiced.
0-1 pitch on the way to Orlando. And that is a called strike on the outside corner, 0-2. Orlando batting 160 in 7 games played this year. No homers, 2 knocked in. Scouts with a 2-1 lead, but boy, oh boy, they would love nothing more than to add to this lead if Orlando can find a way to put the ball in play here. 0-2 pitch. That's a grounder to first. They'll throw home, get the out there, and that's it. As a 1-2 put out, Roberts making a clean throw to the catcher, Harper. As out of the plate will be Jarrett Lindsay. Reaching on the fielder's choice is Noah Orlando. Moving up to third is Darnell, as Tuttle will go to second on the play. But still only 1 out here in the inning. We now go back to the top of the Scouts' batting order, and Carson Wright, the lefty, will take a ball outside from Torbert. 2-1 lead for the Scouts over the Settlers. 1 run coming in via a bases-loaded walk by Dugan Darnell. Another run coming in thanks to an infield single by Nick Tuttle. 1-0 pitch on the way to Carson Wright, and Wright will take it outside for a ball. 2-0 the count. Torbert has certainly been racking up the pitches so far in this inning, Riley, after a relatively clean first inning.
Yeah, 7 in that first inning, and now he's almost faced 7 batters in this inning. Well, this is his 7th batter in the inning, so tail 2 innings for Torbert here.
2-0 pitch, and that'll be smacked into center field for a base hit. 1 run will come in to score, and that is it. The Scouts will play station to station. It's an RBI single to center for Carson Wright as the Scouts increase their lead 3-1.
Number 16, Chandler Chambers.
Good job by Bubba Cates there, holding up Darnell at third, because the center fielder White had a cannon on him as he was Tuttle scoring. Tuttle's getting held up at third. My apologies there. But yeah, good job holding up Tuttle, because White came in with a cannon out of center field. That would have been a very close play there at the plate, and Coach Cates there avoiding that entirely and just taking the 1 run.
So now a 3-1 lead for the Scouts as Chambers will come to the plate once again, and Chambers will take a ball. He grounded out to the pitchers last time up, trying to reach via a bunt. No bunt here, though. Chambers is expected to swing the bat. Runners, bases loaded, actually, for the Scouts still. 1-0 pitch. Chambers swings and misses at that one. 1-1 the count.
You know, I like what the Scouts are doing at the plate right now. They've had bases juiced pretty much all inning, and the batters are doing a very good job of not trying to do too much, not trying to have that big home run, grand slam swing, just going little by little, just having good contact swings, and that's how they've been able to continue this inning.
The pitch, and Chambers, he went. Tried to hold up his swing on a pitch that was high and outside. Chambers couldn't help himself, and now the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Waiting on deck is Ryan Bertelsman. for Xenia. Meanwhile, Chambers still in the batter's box. 1-2 pitch on the way. And swung on and fouled off to the right. Chambers batting .267 on the season. No homers, 2 knocked in. At least that's what his numbers were entering tonight. 1-2 pitch on the way from Torbert. And that is inside for a ball.
And Torbert there, he's been struggling with his control a little bit, throwing a few pitches a little inside. He's lucky he hasn't hit anybody yet, but definitely does not want to hit Chambers here with 2 strikes on him.
Torbert looks in for a sign from his catcher, Harper. Now has it. Chambers, meanwhile, waiting on the 2-2 pitch. Here it is. That's a grounder into left field for a base hit. 1 run will come in to score. They will throw home. No, now they got a runner in a pickle. The throw to third will not be in time. Another run comes in to score in the meantime. It is a 2-run single for Chandler Chambers. And now it's a 5-1 lead in favor of the Scouts.
Great piece of hitting there by Chambers with 2 strikes, finding a gap in the infield. A very good job there by Carson Wright, making his way to third. Got caught a little bit there and a little bit in between second and third. Then notice there's no third baseman on third, no one covering third, and Carson Wright will sprint there and get in there safely.
And now Ryan Bertelsmann will look to add to the damage that the Scouts have already inflicted this inning. There's a grounder to the right side, and Bertelsmann will beat the throw as another run comes in to score. Wright crosses home plate. Bertelsmann is able to beat it out for an infield single, and boy, that was a kooky-looking play right there as Roberts took the ground ball, looked as though it was headed to the second baseman Wilson that time. Roberts, in the meantime, got caught in no man's land as he tried to throw it back to first. And as we've seen all season, Riley, Ryan Bertelsmann, not only a hitter, but an athlete as well as he continues to showcase that speed.
Yeah, Bertelsmann there, not quitting on the play, sprinting through the bag. Roberts didn't think he could get Chambers at second, then try to turn around and make that play to first and could not either.
Runner going to third. Easy stolen base that time by Chandler Chambers. So now runners are on the corners for the Scouts. Still only 1 out here in the bottom half of the second. It is a 6-1 lead for the Scouts. 6 runs across the plate for Xenia so far here in the bottom half of the second. Connor Regan, meantime, comes to the plate once again, and that's a base hit into right field. Regan with an RBI single to right. And the Scouts now lead the Settlers 7-1. Boy, it has been a hitting clinic here, a run-scoring clinic for the Scouts here in the bottom half of the second.
You know, partner, that first inning went by very quick. There was only combined 11 pitches in that first inning on both sides, and then the Settlers able to get a run in that top half of the second. Now Scouts are anything you can do, we can do better, and 7 runs later, here we are.
So now Luke Boylston will come to the plate once again. It's been a long inning for the right-hander Torbert as he continues to struggle here in the bottom half of the second.
And the Settlers got a lefty warming up in the pen.
Boylston is now, I believe, the 11th batter that Torbert will have faced in this inning, at least so far. This is the second time that Boylston has come to the plate. He doubled and scored his last time. Boylston taking a strike.
And these marathon innings as a fielder and as the defense can really be draining. You start to lose a little faith. You see that lead increase and increase. So the confidence for the Settlers right now got to be very low.
Boylston, meanwhile, with a swing and a base hit into left field. And Bubba Cates doing the smart thing, holding the runner, that being Bertelsmann at third.
And here we are again, partner. Bases are juiced once again.
Doesn't want his team to run into any bad outs, and the struggles continue for Licking County. Meantime, for Xenia, things looking rosy for the Scouts here in the bottom half of the second. Already a 7-run second, and it looks as though Licking County will be making a pitching change right here. And they will. So a new pitcher will be coming in for the Settlers. We'll tell you about him after we take a short respite. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Net, with Scouts leading the Settlers 7-1 in the bottom half of the second. Well, what a second inning it has been for the Scouts so far. 7 runs have crossed the plate for Xenia here in the bottom half of the second. And because of that, the Settlers have decided to go with a new pitcher on the mound, that being number 38, Spencer Berg. He's a big, burly left-hander, 6'3", 230 pounds. Junior at Baldwin Wallace, up near Berea, Ohio. His hometown, Gahanna, Ohio, a suburb of Columbus. And so now the lefty Berg will go to work on the right-handed batting Jarrett Lindsay. Again, 7 runs across the plate for the Scouts here in the bottom half of the second. It's a 7-1 lead for Xenia, and still only 1 out here in this inning as Lindsay takes a mighty hack, swings and misses.
And the Scouts here, only 1 out. Bases are juiced. They can continue to add on to this lead here, even on the new pitcher.
Berg making his 3rd appearance of the season as he'll kick and deal. That's outside for a ball. Berg has pitched 2 2/3 innings. He has struck out 2. He has walked 5, and he has also allowed 5 hits. Yet his ERA sits at a perfect 0.00. And again, it is early on in the season, so tend to expect ERAs at this point in the year. 1-1 pitch on the way to Jarrett Lindsay. Lindsay will take a pitch down low. Count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. We'll tell you about the traffic on the bases right now. Bertelsmann sits at 3rd. Regan is at 2nd. And Luke Boylston, he stands just off of first base. 2-1 pitch. That swung on and popped up high on the infield. They're going to call the infield fly rule on that one. Is making the catch as the second baseman Wilson for the second out of the inning. So now Dugan Darnell will come to the plate for the second time. He had a bases-loaded RBI, and it was that big at-bat against the righty Torbert that started the scoring in what has turned out to be a very, very productive inning for the Scouts. Lefty Berg back to work, and he'll pitch inside for a ball. Speaking of the right-hander Torbert, Riley, what's his line looking like at the moment?
Allowed 7 hits and 1 1/3. Allowed 7 runs. All but 2 of those were earned because of the walks. And 51 pitches in those 1 1/3 innings.
1-0 pitch on the way, taken for a strike by Darnell. So 1-1 count on the Scouts' third baseman. And boy, there's still some players out there on the base paths that Torbert is still responsible for. So his ERA might be in for a little more of a beating here, at least particularly this inning, if Darnell is able to come through with some 2-out magic here. Pitch catches the inside corner for a called strike, and now Darnell working with a 1-2 count against the lefty, Spencer Berg. Berg looking in for his sign from his catcher, Harper. He has it. Here's the pitch. And that is just outside for a ball. Harper pausing for a couple of seconds, but our home plate umpire did not budge that time on his call. 2-2 count on Dugan Darnell. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 7 runs already in for the Scouts as Xenia looks to continue to pile up some more runs in this frame. 2-2. That is outside, and that was a very good pick by the catcher Harper that time. If he lets that ball get away, at least another run is across the plate for the Scouts.
You know, this is how Darnell's at-bat went last time. He started out behind, got 2 strikes on him quick, and was able to work the count full, then got the walk. So let's see if he can do it again here.
3-2 pitch. And that is a walk. Just missing. Second walk of the inning for Darnell. Second time that he's able to drive in a run thanks to a bases-loaded walk as Bertelsmann will come in to score. Regan moves up to third. Boylston, meanwhile, moves to second. So not a bad job by Darnell this inning. Picks up 2 RBIs, and now he's up to 5 ribbies on the season. Nick Tuttle now coming to the plate. Pitch is taken for a strike as a great streak of sunshine has all of a sudden hit Grady's Field here. Clouds were dark overhead, but we didn't get any of the wet stuff, thank goodness. So we are A-OK in Xenia for right now. 0-1 pitch, and that nearly hit Tuttle. Somewhere on the knee, the calf, the ankle, some part of the leg, but luckily for him, he was able to dance out of the way of that one. So now 1-1 count on Tuttle, who had an infield base hit that knocked in a run his last time up.
You know, if you're Berg here, the last thing you want to do is give a run to the Scouts. You want to make them earn it.
1-1 pitch. I don't know if Tuttle swung at that one, but it's a called strike regardless. So now the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Scout second baseman, Nick Tuttle. Noah Orlando waits on deck. Boy, it has been a long inning for the Scouts, but this is what their offense wants. 1-2 pitch. And the pitch is outside for a ball as it goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, that's what their offense wants, but this is especially what Caleb Eder loves seeing right now as he's taking a nice long break there on the bench. He's had a lot of time to compile his thoughts. Now he has a big lead going back out on the mound in the 3rd inning.
Plenty of run support. 2-2 pitch on the way. Tuttle swings and misses, and that will end the inning for the Scouts. But, boy, what an inning it was for Xenia. 8 runs on 7 hits. They do leave the bases loaded. But after 3 innings of play here at Grady's Field, it is Xenia 8, Licking County 1. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Well, we now head to the top half of the 3rd here at Grady's Field. The Scouts coming off of a very productive bottom half of the 2nd in which they scored 8 runs. Xenia leading Licking County 8-1. This is Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network as Caleb Eder back to work on the mound, delivers a first pitch strike. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. So pleased to have you join us here on this Tuesday evening, June the 19th of 2018. Pitch is on the way. That's a grounder over to 3rd. Throw to first by Darnell, and it gets away from the first baseman, Lindsay, as he wasn't able to make the pick that time. The runner, Dylan Ott, will move on to second. There will be a throwing error Now the third baseman, Darnell.
Hey, knows we said earlier, Lindsey getting his first start at first over there. Normally know him as a catcher. Not entirely sure on what his history is at first base, but that could be one of the reasons he was unable to come up with that pick, as we've seen Felix King and Caleb Eater over at first for the Scouts this year, doing a very good job of holding it down and getting picks over there at first. So something to watch for Lindsey over there at first on these throws.
Sam Wilson, the second baseman, now comes to calling offensively for Licking County as he will take a pitch outside from Eater. Wilson popping up to the third baseman his last time up. Eater will now look back at second to Dylan Ott, who, oh, by the way, Ott, leading the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League in hitting, was a .500 batter entering play tonight. And that's a fly ball out to center field. Chambers will settle under it. He'll make the catch. Runner tags going to third, and Ott will make it in there safely. So Wilson with the fly out to center. One gone here in the top half of the third as Ott moves on to third. And Miguel Pimentel with an RBI opportunity here. The third baseman flying out to right field his last time up.
Eater still working very well here despite the runner on third. That runner last inning that ended up scoring last inning was on via an error, and now another on via an error at third right now.
And the pitch gets away from the catcher Regan, and the run will come in to score. Ott scores from third on the play. Scouts still with the lead. Now 8-2 in favor of Xenia. Well, at the very least, Eater can now just focus on the batter here. No traffic on the base pass. As Pimentel now working with a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. And that is down low for a ball. 2-0 the count.
That's exactly what Eater needs to do. He just needs to focus on this batter. He's got a nice big lead. Scouts have already broken those bats out very well already, so got to have confidence in his offense as well.
Foul ball at the plate. So now the count will move to 2 balls and 1 strike. Coming up, we will reveal to you tonight's trivia question. And Riley, I think I've come up with a good one. I think I've come up with a really good one tonight. It has to do with something that took place today a couple years back in Major League Baseball. So hold on to that. 2-1 pitch. Taken for a ball. So now it's a 3-1 count on Miguel Pimentel. And Riley, this young man hails from the Dominican Republic, from what I understand, as he'll pop this one up. It'll be playable and foul ground by Lindsey. Lindsey making the catch. And Pimentel is retired. 2 down in the top half of the third. So as Garrett Roberts strolls to the plate, might as well give you tonight's trivia question. So on this day 3 years ago, Yankees third baseman Alex Rodriguez homered for his 3,000th career hit. Only 3 players, that including Rodriguez, have recorded their 3,000th hit while hitting a home run. As Eater delivers, and that will be caught out in right field for the final out of the frame. I'll finish up the rest of the trivia question when we come back. 8-1 in favor of the Scouts as we head to the bottom half of the third. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. In baseball, success requires a combination of strength and conditioning. When it's time for the Scouts to work out, they head to Snap Fitness. Snap Fitness, the official gym of the Xenia Scouts. Noah Orlando will lead things off for the Scouts here in the bottom half of the third against the big lefty Berg. And we apologize. We were trying to get you tonight's trivia question towards the end of the last half inning, but kind of ran out of time. But don't worry, folks. We'll get you that trivia question in just a moment here. Orlando digs in to the right-handed batter's box. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored his last time up. One of those 8 runs that crossed the plate for the Scouts in the bottom half of the second. All right, here's the trivia question. On this day 3 years ago, Yankees third baseman Alex Rodriguez homered for his 3,000th career hit. Only 3 players, which includes Rodriguez, have recorded their 3,000th hit while hitting a home run, as Orlando takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Derek Jeter did it in July of 2011. Which of these Hall of Fame third basemen is the third player in question? Is it A, George Brett, B, Wade Boggs, C, Mike Schmidt, or D, Chipper Jones? 1-1 pitch is fouled off to the right. So we'll let you know on that a little bit, and then coming up later this inning, we will give you the answer. Which of these Hall of Fame third basemen recorded their 3,000th career hit while hitting a home run? Brett, Boggs, Schmidt, or Jones? As the pitch is taken outside by Orlando, 2-2 count.
You know, partner, those are 4 of the most prolific hitters in the game.
Absolutely.
So that'll definitely be a tough one to answer.
Chipper Jones, one of the better switch hitters that we have ever seen. 2-2 pitch on the way. That's outside for a ball. Mike Schmidt, boy, I don't think Mike Schmidt gets his due when it comes to being one of the greatest offensive players of all time, and he also flashed the lever at third base.
Yep. Schmidt was a great all-around player for the Phillies.
As Orlando stings that one into right field for a base hit. Nice opposite field hitting that time by the right-handed batting Orlando as he sends it into right field. He leads off this inning with a single. Of course, George Brett was a tremendous hitter during his time with the Kansas City Royals. And, boy, man, you want to talk about Mr. Consistency, a guy that you could always count on. Hitting 300, reaching base at a prolific clip. Didn't hit for a lot of home runs, but a great hitter nonetheless. That'd be Mr. Wade Boggs. Bunt. Back to the pitcher. Berg will throw to first, but a successful sacrifice bunt by Carson Wright.
You know, even with the lead here, Coach Cates is still playing a little bit of small ball out there, bunting people over. So still very nice to see Coach Cates playing aggressive out there.
So Chandler Chambers will now come to the plate. Chambers has grounded out to the pitcher and has also singled and scored this game. The pitch. Chambers takes a ball up high. Let's go ahead and give you the answer to today's trivia question. Talked about how on this day 3 years ago, Alex Rodriguez homered for his 3,000th career hit. One of 3 players only to do so. It's Rodriguez, it's Jeter, and which of these Hall of Fame third basemen that recorded their 3,000 hit with a homer? First, runner going to third on the play. Noah Orlando stole that one easily. And so now the Scouts will have a runner at third, as Berg will now talk with his catcher, Harper. And an RBI opportunity here for Chambers. Still 1 out here in the bottom half of the third with the Scouts leading the Settlers 8-1. Again, the choices were George Brett, Wade Boggs, Mike Schmidt, or Chipper Jones. Riley?
Well, it is a very difficult question today, partner, and I'm going to say it's not George Brett because I'm not entirely sure, but I don't believe he had 3,000 hits.
1-1 pitch is fouled off to the left.
And then that leaves Boggs, Chipper, and Schmidt. And, you know, I'm going to have to go with Wade Boggs because he's the least prolific home run hitter out of those 3. So that's why I'm going to pick him.
Boy, sometimes a blind squirrel can find a nut. You are correct. You are correct. 1-2 pitch on the way. That's up by for a ball. In 1999, while playing for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, Boggs homered for his 3,000th career hit. 12-time All-Star would finish up with 3,010 career hits and was later inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2005. And that is a called strike 3 on the outside corner as Chambers goes down looking.
Number 31, Ryan.
So 2 away here in the bottom half of the third. And Ryan Bertelsmann comes to bat. He struck out looking and singled and scored. That took place his last time up. Berg, the lefty, deals, and that's up high for a ball. Boy, Boggs was a longtime member of the Boston Red Sox, and a lot of people were upset that he played those last 2 years with the Devil Rays. Of course, he won a World Series with the Yankees later on in his career. I think if many people in Boston would have liked to have changed that, they should have seen Boggs get that 3,000 in a Red Sox uniform, but it was not to be, as he did it in a Tampa Bay Devil Rays uniform. This was before they made the name change from Devil Rays to simply Rays down there in Tampa. 2-1 pitch on the way to Bertelsmann. And that is a strike. 2-2 count. But yeah, of all the people to get their 3,000 in on a home run, I think Wade Boggs would be at or near the bottom.
I agree, partner. That's why I had to pick him. That's usually how trivia questions work.
That pitch is outside for a ball. Well, I congratulate you on that.
Bertelsmann here with that full count. 2 outs here. He's going to be looking to put this ball about anywhere, as we've seen Bertelsmann do so far this year.
Payoff pitch on the way to Bertelsmann. He swings and fouls it off to the right. Bertelsmann hitting .407 entering play tonight. He's got 4 RBIs, still looking for his first home run of the season. That is swung on and missed. And that is how the Scouts inning will end. No runs, 1 hit, and a man left for the Scouts. We head to the top half of the fourth. Scouts leading the Settlers 8-2. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Kids return those balls to the press box for Ryan.
I remember I watched Chipper Jones 3,000 hits, so I knew that wasn't a homer. So I was just like, I don't know about Schmidt or Boggs hitting a homer on their 3,000, so I'll just make a guess. I figured Schmidt would have been the easier answer, which is why I picked the harder answer.
Yeah.
Lucky guess.
Yeah, the Devil Rays, I mean, at that point, they would just sign these players just to try to get people out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
Like, wait,
They still are having that issue.
yeah. I mean, like Boggs was at the end of his road. He should not have finished up his career with a team like Tampa Bay. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
that never made sense to me.
I see a need, fill a need. Rays needed someone who put some butts in the seats. Boggs wanted to keep on playing. That's how it works sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, let's come back. Top half of the fourth here at Grady's Field. So far, it's been a good night for the Scouts, leading the Settlers 8-2. As Caleb Eder returns to that mound for the Scouts. And during this inning, we will get you caught up with some scores around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. And actually, we can go ahead and get you some scores right now. First, a couple games that were postponed due to weather. Richmond was not able to get their game in with Muskegon today. Meanwhile, Lima had to postpone their game with Lake Erie due to weather. We already have a final today as Saginaw took down Irish Hills 3-2. As the pitch is taken on the inside corner for a strike by Turner Hill. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 batters to begin this inning for the Settlers. Eater back to work, and that pitch is outside for a ball. Bottom half of the fifth in Southern Ohio, the Copperheads leading Galleon 1-0 in that one. It is a beatdown at Irish Hills, apparently, as, let's see here, they are playing another game, this time against Grand Lake, as the throw to first will be in time. It'll be a 6-3 put out, as Turner Hill grounds out for the first out of the inning.
And Orlando makes any play look pretty there, doing a very good job of charging that ball, throwing on the jump. Very pretty play there by Orlando. Get the first out of this inning.
Austin White coming to the plate. White reaching on an error by the second baseman Tuttle, and later coming around to score on an RBI single by Chad Harper. Eater the pitch. And that is a ball. Grand Lake all over Irish Hills, 10-0 in the top half of the sixth of that game. And then finally, top half of the second at Hamilton, the Joes trailing the Cincinnati Steam 3-1. Boy, it's been a rough couple days for the Joes. Lost a couple over the weekend to the Scouts, and now they're on the losing end of that game against a Steam team that is piping hot. I mean, that team has gotten off to a very nice start at 6-1. So now the count moves to 1-2 strikes on Austin White, as Caleb Eater looking to continue to protect this large lead that the Scouts have given him. That is a foul bow back towards us. 1-2 strikes on Austin White. Waiting on deck for the Settlers, the designated hitter, Nate Dill.
Eater still doing a good job of pitching to contact. Second time through this order. Still has not recorded a strikeout, but I'm sure he won't mind too much about that as long as he's getting the outs he needs.
And White swings and misses at that one. Strike three as Eater strikes the Settlers center fielder out.
He must have heard me up here talking about how he doesn't have a strikeout, getting his first one right there against White.
So now Dill will come to the plate. Nathan Dill, Lincoln County's designated hitter, was hit by a pitch his last time up. Dill will take a strike, 0-1 the count.
Very good breaking ball to start out this at-bat from Eater there. Curving in from Dill's elbow almost and getting into the strike zone. Eater working quickly.
0-1 pitch. Dill with a grounder over to Orlando. He's hustling. He throws, and it's off the mark as Lindsay was not able to make the catch. Fortunately for the Scouts, Dill will stay put at first base. And I don't know, Riley, at the inexperience for Lindsay over there at first base, who's more accustomed to playing behind the plate. That's the second time that he wasn't able to handle a wild throw from one of his infielders. Normally, if you put a guy like, say, Felix King out there, King might have done a better job that time. But, hey, credit Lindsay for keeping the ball around first base, not allowing the runner to move up a base.
And he did a good job going for the ball. That's something that a lot of inexperienced first basemen do, is just let that ball fly on by. He got off the bag, grabbed the ball, try to make the tag as well.
Meanwhile, Orlando will snag a line drive by Chad Harper. And that's it this inning for Licking County. No runs, no hits, and a man left on base for the Settlers. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. Scouts with a big lead, 8-2 over the Settlers.
Direct your sights to the left side of the field. We have one-legged rice.
Back here at Grady's Field, As we head to the bottom half of the fourth, it's the Scouts leading the Settlers 8-2. And speaking of scores, some games took place at the College Baseball World Series today. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. Riley, how about Mississippi State? They rout UNC today by a final of 12-2, and also a big win for the Florida Gators as they took down the Texas Longhorns 6-1.
Yeah, big game for the Mississippi State offense. Caught a little bit of that game against Carolina. First 4 runs came off a grand slam, so big offense there at Mississippi State.
Florida also getting the big win over Texas today. Arkansas and Texas Tech, meanwhile, their game got postponed due to the weather. What do you make of the College World Series so far, Riley?
Seen a lot of very good games. Seen a lot of very good young talent out there with Florida and Texas. With Texas has Roger Clemens' son Casey on that, or Cody on that team. So a lot of good young talent there. Very fun to watch there in Omaha every year, and just another good year for college baseball.
Connor Regan will now come to the plate for the Scouts. Regan walking and scoring his first time, singling, and now he might have another base hit, and this is going to be a double. This is going to be extra bases as White misplayed the ball that time. Regan will take a wide turn at second. He'll dive back into second and be content with a double. Nice piece of hitting right there by Regan. The center fielder, White, for Licking County, might have had a chance on that play, but wasn't able to come up with it. And another base knock for the Scouts, their 9th of the game.
You know, White did a good job making a play on that ball, tracked it down very well off the bat, diving for it, and just sometimes you just don't come up with it. And Regan reaping the rewards from that with a nice double there. Good piece of hitting from Regan, seeing that first pitch and driving it somewhere.
So now Luke Boylston coming to the plate, and so far, Luke has had a good night at the plate. Doubled and scored his first time up. Singled with an RBI back in that big second inning for the Scouts, in which they put up 8 runs on the board. Now we'll have another RBI opportunity right here, so he'll foul this one off to the right. 0-1 the count on Luke Boylston, the University of Dallas product, out there in Big D. They always say everything is bigger in Texas, and Luke Boylston, he's a big one, about 6'3", 220, as he will foul this one off to the right. No play will be made, and now the count is no balls and 2 strikes.
And even with 2 strikes, you know, Boylston today has looked very composed up at the plate, looks very calm, and just looks ready, for lack of a better term, and that's exactly what you need to see from a batter.
No balls, 2 strikes on Luke Boylston. Regan taking his lead off of second. The pitch by the lefty Berg, and that is outside for a ball. So now the count will move to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Boylston, who, like I said, perfect 2 for 2 on the night. Able to inch his batting average up a little bit to 235. As Berg will now step off the mound momentarily here. Boylston aiming for his 2nd RBI of the night. Here's the pitch. That's a grounder over to shortstop. That won't even move the runner over, as that'll be a simple 6-3 ground out. First out of the bottom half of the 4th. And now Jarrett Lindsay will come to the plate. Scouts first baseman has walked and also popped out to second his first couple times up. Everybody in the Scouts lineup, let's see here. Lindsay, Darnell, and Tuttle. Those are the only guys in the Scouts lineup who have yet to get a hit so far. Everybody else has already done so, as this will be a high fly ball out to center field. White will make the catch, and the runner will stay put at second, that being Regan. 2 gone. So now it'll be up to Dugan Darnell if the Scouts want to have a chance to put another run up there on the board. Darnell with a couple of RBIs in that 8-run second inning, and Darnell did it the untraditional way, if you want to call it that, with a couple of bases-loaded walks.
And you know you got to do a job up there when you come to the plate, and with bases loaded, Darnell delivered both times, came away with 2 RBIs and 2 times on base.
Berg delivers, and that's in the turf. 1-0 the count.
But Darnell, I definitely think he has to do what he's been doing all day and see some pitches here. So far this inning, Regan swung out that first pitch, and so did Lindsey. So sometimes when you're a batter, you gotta bide your time and see some pitches.
1-0 pitch is taken for a strike by Darnell. 1-1 the count. Berg, the big lefty for Licking County. So out there on the mound for the Settlers as he looks in for his sign from Harper. Taking his lead off of second is Regan. Darnell waiting on the 1-1 pitch. And there's going to be a base hit into right center. That'll score another run. The 3rd RBI of the night for Dugan Darnell. And the Scouts extend their lead. It's now 9-2 in favor of Xenia.
Good job there by Darnell, finding a pitch he can hit. Did a good job pulling that to the left center gap and got himself a single and an RBI. So Darnell 1 for 1 with 3 RBIs on the day.
Not too shabby, if you ask me. So now Nick Tuttle will come to the plate. Nick Tuttle with an infield single. And that drove in a run. And then strikeout swinging. His last time up, he'll take a strike from the lefty Berg. So far, here's what the line looks like for the Scouts on the scoreboard. 9 runs on 10 hits. They do have 3 errors in the field. Meanwhile, the Settlers, they've been quiet offensively so far. 2 runs on 1 hit. They have yet to commit an error in the field. As that pitch is taken inside for a ball by Tuttle. 1-1 the count on the Scouts' second baseman, Noah Orlando, waiting on deck for Xenia.
Scouts doing a good job on offense here. This is already their 3rd time through the lineup and about to be their 4th here in a couple batters. So very good job from everyone on the Scouts getting on base somehow.
Pitch taken in outside by Tuttle. So the count will now move to 2 balls and 1 strike. Darnell sitting over there at first. It's been a good offensive night for the Scouts' third baseman so far with 3 RBIs. 2-1 pitch. That is a high pop-up into foul territory, giving chase is the first baseman Roberts, but he eventually runs out of room. So a 2-2 count. Awaiting Nick Tuttle. Darnell will take his lead off of first. Berg, the lefty, meanwhile, he'll deal. And that's inside. 3-2 pitch on the way. You would think that the runner on first, that being Dugan Darnell, will run on this play. His common baseball logic would dictate that. We shall see what happens. 3-2 pitch. Darnell takes off. Tuttle swings and fouls it at the plate. He'll stay alive. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Still the count on Nick Tuttle. Good crowd here tonight at Graves Field. And so far, the Scouts fans have been treated to a good effort by their hometown ball club. Berg, meanwhile, has a sign. Here's the 3-2. And there's going to be a base hit into right field as Tuttle dumps that one in there. Darnell running on the play. He'll slide headfirst into third. And how about that? Tuttle was able to take second on the throw. Nice heads-up base running by the Scouts' second baseman, Nick Tuttle, as he turns a single into extra base hits. Credit him with a single. He'll move up to second on the throw as they were trying to get Darnell over there at third. Now the Scouts have a couple runners in scoring position here. Still only 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th.
And the Scouts hitters today doing a very good job of hitting the ball with 2 strikes to the opposite field. Tuttle, another example there. Righty able to hit that one out in the right field. Doing a very good job today, the Scouts, especially with 2 strikes.
The pitch by Berg. That's up high for a ball. 1-0 the count. The 1-0 pitch. There's a fly ball out to center field. White will race in. It drops! And another run is going to come around to score for the Scouts. Meanwhile, throwing to second, not in time, as Orlando able to make it up to second on the play. Boy, there was big-time miscommunication right there by the center fielder, White, and the right fielder, Hill, out there. Nobody was really wanting to call for that ball, and it just dropped for a base hit.
Yeah, even the second baseman, Wilson, in on that play. You know, all of them were just kind of jogging over there, waiting for one of them to take charge and call it and make the play, but none of them made the play. None of them made the call, so big double there for Orlando.
And 2 more runs crossed the plate on that particular play as Darnell and Tuttle come in to score. This is a 3-run inning for the Scouts, and now they're up 11-2. And now the Scouts will have another base runner as Carson Wright got nailed in the back with that pitch.
Number 16, Chandler Chambers.
And Settlers here in danger of letting the Scouts bat around the order in an inning for the second time already today, and it's only the 4th.
So Chambers, he has grounded out to the pitcher. He has singled and scored. And he has struck out looking. Big offensive night for the Scouts as they lead the Settlers 11-2, looking to add some more to that tally as Chambers will take a strike on the outside corner. Meanwhile, boy, it has been a rough night for the Settlers pitching staff. Torbert was not able to last all that long, and now Berg is having some issues. So that pitch is taken in the dirt. 1-1 the count. Torbert only lasting an inning. Gave up a bunch of runs. Berg, meanwhile, he's pitched 2 2/3. Hasn't been all that much better. 1-1 pitch. That's outside for a ball. So now the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strikes on Chandler Chambers, the Lipscomb University product.
One of 3 Lipscomb University Bisons on this Scouts roster.
And Lipscomb, one of many schools that hail from the Nashville area. That being in Tennessee as that pitch is taken for a ball on the outside. Let's see her. And Orlando able to get back to second there. Boy, I don't know why Harper didn't pull the trigger that time. They might have had Orlando at second if he had thrown to second base in due time. But Orlando able to get back in time. Meanwhile, finishing my thought on Nashville, you have Lipscomb, you have Belmont, and, of course, you have Vanderbilt. A lot of prestigious schools in the Nashville, Tennessee area. 3-1 pitch. Did that hit the batter? Well, doesn't really matter. That was ball 4. Chambers with a walk. Ryan Bertelsmann. Now coming up to the plate once again. He has struck out twice. He's also singled and scored. So he's officially 1 for 3 on the night. Berg, the lefty, getting some words of encouragement from his catcher, Harper.
You know, the Darnell single, Tuttle single, Orlando double, all been with 2 outs here in this inning. So Scouts also doing a good job of hitting with 2 outs.
Bertelsmann with a swing, and that'll be a fly ball out to center. Catch will be made by White, and that is how the inning ends for the Scouts. But, hey, it's another productive inning offensively for the boys from Xenia. They were able to tally 3 runs on 3 hits, leave a couple men on base. At the end of 4, it is Xenia 11, Licking County 2. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Casimir Zabasic will lead things off for Licking County here in the top half of the fifth. He'll take a strike from Caleb Eater. Right-hander still on the mound for the Scouts this evening. It is Xenia 11, Licking County 2. Boy, it's been a great night for the boys from Xenia when it comes to swinging the bats, scoring runs in bunches tonight. 8-run second inning, followed by a 3-run fourth inning. And Zabasic swings and misses. 1-1 pitch on the way now from Eater. And there is a swing, a little pop-up in shallow right field. Handled easily by the second baseman, Tuttle, for the first out of the inning. Back to the top of the Licking County order we go. Dylan Ott batting once again. He is flied out to left. And he reached on an error by the third baseman, Darnell. Later came around to score in the third inning. And Caleb Eater on the mound. Swing and a grounder over to Darnell. He'll have to hurry. The throw over to first will be, it was in time, but Lindsay was not able to keep his foot on the bag.
Number 28, Wilson.
So Ott reaching via an error. I would imagine that error is going to be charged to Lindsay because I thought Darnell's throw was on the money.
Yeah, the throw was a little high, but the throw was catchable. It was caught by Lindsay. He just wasn't able to keep his foot on the bag.
And that's now the fourth error on the night for the Scouts.
That's something we aren't used to seeing because this is a very good defensive unit that the Scouts have, top to bottom, so not very accustomed to seeing this many errors.
Particularly on the infield. Eater will throw over to first and runner back in plenty of time.
But most of them have been throwing errors with the exception of Tuttle, but that play to Tuttle was a sharp line drive. Very tough play to make over there, so I wouldn't read too much into the 4 errors on the day. For the Scouts, it's something they are going to have to forget, though.
Pitch is down low for a ball. 2-0 the count on Sam Wilson. The Settler second baseman. He popped out to third and flew out to center his last time up. Wilson with a kind of open stance in the right-handed batter's box. 2-0 pitch. That's up high. And Wilson said, oh boy, I better wake up. That was some chin music from Eater. 3-0 count on Wilson. Miguel Pimentel waiting on deck for the Settlers as the sun continues to dip. The field, meanwhile, completely covered in shadows. As that pitch is taken for a strike. 3-1 the count now.
Eater needs to come back here after starting out 3-0. Needs to come back. We'll try to produce a ground ball as he's been pitching to contact very well and try to get out of this inning on the double play.
Runner goes, and the pitch is fouled off to the left, heading towards the Scouts dugout. So now we'll go 3 balls and 2 strikes. And by the way, during that break in between innings, we tried our best to fix the camera. I know a lot of you are enjoying the audio portion of the broadcast, but you'd also like to watch the game too. Available on YouTube.com. So tried our best, and hopefully that improves things a little bit. That'll be a grounder up the third base line, and that'll be a foul ball. 3-2 pitch, or a 3-2 count, I should say, on Wilson, as he has gone full against the Scouts right-hander Caleb Eater. Eater looking in for his sign as Ott will take his lead off of first. Throw back to first will not be in time, as Ott was able to get back there. Ott, by the way, mentioned this earlier in the game, with the leading batting average in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League, batting even .500 to begin play tonight. That is pretty doggone good if you ask me. Ott running, and it doesn't matter as ball 4 is taken by Sam Wilson. So Ott will move up to second. Wilson with the walk, and that'll bring Miguel Pimentel to the plate. Pimentel with a fly out to right field. And also fouled out to first base his last time up. And by the way, we invite you to chat with us during our broadcasts. As that is fouled off to the left. Many of you, alerted us about the issue with the camera, with the brightness and such. So we'd like to thank Terry Bills, Stephanie Lane, Trish Verbrugge as well, bringing that to our attention. And we hope that your viewing of the game has improved, all for the better going forward. 0-1 pitch away. And that's a hit batsman. Boy, all of a sudden, things not looking too good here for the right-hander Eater, as now he's loaded the bases.
What Eater has to do is just calm down a little bit. He's been throwing a gem today. He's only allowed one hit, as some people seem to may have forgotten because of the 2 runs. But Eater's only allowed 1 hit on the day. A couple of guys have gotten on via the air, via the walk, via the hit by pitch, what have you. But Eater needs to calm down and know that he can get these batters out.
So now that'll bring to the plate Garrett Roberts, the Settlers' first baseman. Roberts has grounded out to the pitcher, and he's also flied out to right. 0 for 2 on the day so far. That's a grounder. Orlando not able to get to the ball, as that will sneak into left field for a base knock. 2 runs are going to come in to score, and it's a 2-run single by Garrett Roberts as the Settlers inch a little closer to the Scouts. Xenia still with a big lead, now 11-4 in favor of Xenia.
Eater has to remind himself of that 7-run lead he's got, and he knows that the Scouts' offense is far from done themselves. So Eater just needs to bear down here, throw some strikes, keep the ball low, and let his defense do the rest.
Pitch is up high for a ball. By the way, during this inning, we will get you caught up with scores around Major League Baseball. Another busy night in the majors, as you would expect here on a Tuesday night. Meanwhile, Turner Hill, the right fielder, working with a 1-0 count against Eater. Eater with the pitch. Hill swings. Fly ball out to left field. Boylston giving chase, and that is foul down the left field line. A couple scores from the majors today. Top half of the 5th. Pirates being blanked by the Brewers right now in Pittsburgh, 3-0. Bottom half of the 5th in our nation's capital. Orioles possessing a 5-1 lead over the Nationals. Top half of the 6th in the Bronx. Yankees leading the Mariners in that one, 5-1. Turner Hill, left-handed batter against the right-handed throwing Eater. Eater has his sign. 1-1 pitch. This is a bunt up the third baseline. It's fair. Eater has no play to any base. You got to give Hill a lot of credit on that. Perfectly placed bunt along the third baseline as Regan and Eater both gave chase. Eater was the one who ultimately picked up the ball, but by that time, Hill had beat it out for an infield single.
And that's just the way baseball works sometimes. It's a perfect bunt on a fast runner, and Hill able to make it to first pretty easily on that. Credit Hill with a great bunt.
And now Bubba Cates making the slow walk out to the mound to talk with his right-hander Caleb Eater. We were here in the top half of the 5th. Scouts still with a big lead, 11-4 over the Settlers, but Licking County has scratched across 2 runs here in this frame, and I'm sure, Riley, that Coach Cates is just out there trying to talk some strategy, probably calm his right-hander down a little bit, telling him, look, big fella, you got the lead here. Let your defense do some work. Just try to get some outs here. No harm, no foul. We'll continue on with the game.
Yeah, he's definitely instilling some confidence in the Eater, definitely trying to set up his infield as the bases are juiced here. He's probably going to want those corner guys on the infield turf that is resembling grass. Try to get that play at home and have the guys up the middle just be in double play depth, and definitely going to give a lot of confidence to Eater because Eater's only allowed now 3 hits. And he's just going to say, calm down, big fella, find that strike zone back, and we'll get you out of this inning.
So now the batter will be Austin White, the center fielder for Licking Valley. Reached on an error by Tuttle and scored back in the 2nd, then struck out swinging in the 4th. And now White with a big opportunity here to possibly get Licking Valley back into this game. Eater delivers, and White went on the pitch. That is a strike.
That's exactly what Eater needed, starting out this at-bat ahead of his adversary here, and that's a good start if he wants to get out of this inning.
White back in the right-handed batter's box. Eater has a sign. 0-1. Swung on the miss. 0-2. More scores around the majors. Phillies leading the Cardinals 3-1 as they have just ended the fourth inning in Philadelphia. Top half of the fifth in Toronto. Braves all over the Blue Jays in that one 7-2. And then top half of the fifth in Cincinnati as the Reds lead the Tigers 5-0. And pitches outside for a ball. Top half of the sixth in Cleveland, the Indians, they lead the White Sox 4-1 in that one. Bottom half of the second at Wrigley Field, no score between the Dodgers and the Cubs. Bottom half of the second in Minnesota, the Twins and the Red Sox. They are scoreless as well. 1-2 pitch. That's swung on and missed. Big strikeout right there. A much-needed strikeout by Eater. 2 gone.
Big strikeout there by Eater indeed. Now that defense can go into a normal set and get a play here anywhere with 2 outs.
Number 36, Dill.
Nathan Dill, the designated hitter, now batting for Licking County. Rays leading the Astros in Houston 1-0. Bottom half of the second in that one. Rangers and the Royals scoreless in KC. Top half of the second of that game. This ball is slicing. This could be trouble. It's a fair ball down the right field line. 1 run will come in. Another run will come in. They will hold the runner at third. And, boy, I don't know what took place there at first base. I think Dill might have slipped running around first because that ball looked like extra bases right off the bat. Dill stays at first. Meanwhile, coming in to score, Pimentel and Roberts. And Licking County continues to make this a more and more interesting game as it's now an 11-6 lead for the Scouts.
Eater just needs to bear down here. Just needs 1 more out. Try to get out of this inning and hopefully forget it and let the Scouts get their bats back out and let them show what they can do as they've already done plenty of in this game.
2 RBIs for Dill on that last play. Dill is at first and Hill is at third. How about that with a little bit of rhyme action on the diamond as that pitch misses for a ball. And by the way, finishing up the scores around the majors, Mets and the Rockies are currently delayed out in Denver. And then some West Coast games. Angels host the D-backs at 10:07. Padres play host to the Athletics at 10:10. And the Giants, they play host to the Marlins at 10:15. Grounder over to second. Tuttle, throw to second in time. Nice play by Nick Tuttle. By the way, a final today from Major League Baseball. Dodgers 4, Cubs 3 at Wrigley Field. Apparently they're playing a doubleheader on the north side of Chicago. Well, the inning ends for Licking Valley, but 4 runs cross the plate for the Settlers. As we move to the bottom half of the fifth, it is Xenia 11, Licking County 6. This is your home for Xenia Scouts Baseball, Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Remember, fans, you can catch every inning of Scouts baseball this season, I should say, even when you can't make it to the game. Charlie Danis, Riley Harshman will bring you every pitch of Scouts baseball live all season long on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Just go to www.xeniascouts.com and click the radio tab, or you can head to youtube.com and search up Xenia Scouts Radio. We hope to have you aboard here in 2018. Bottom half of the fifth, Scouts leading the Settlers 11-6 in what has turned out a very high-scoring affair. 17 combined runs have crossed the plate for these two teams tonight here at Grady's Field. Pitch by Berg. That's taken for a ball. Connor Regan at the plate. Regan's had a nice night. He's walked and scored. That was in the second. Also singled in that long second inning in which the Scouts put up 8 runs. And he doubled and scored back in the fifth. That's fouled back towards the screen.
You know, with all those runs, pitchers are definitely going to want to slow this game down or speed it up, depending on how you look at it. Trying to get quick out here will be Bergen or Eater.
2-1 pitch. Upcoming here from Berg. He's back on the rubber now. And he has a sign from Harper. He delivers. That is on the outside corner for a call strike. Dotted the outside corner with a fastball that time, did Berg. And so now it is 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. That's a grounder over to short. The throw to first in time. Nice play by Zabasic. As his throw to Roberts was in time. 6-3 the putout. 1 gone here in the fifth.
Boylston will look to continue his nice day he's had already, and we'll try to get another hit and start out this Scouts inning.
Boylston has doubled and scored, singled with an RBI. Grounded out to shortstop his last time up. And Boylston takes a pitch inside for a ball. 1-1 the count, or 1-0 the count, I should say.
Infield playing deep here for Boylston as they've seen his power already. Want to give themselves plenty of time to make a play on him.
Boylston swings and, oh, watch out. Boy, luckily there was nobody sitting on the hill right behind the Scouts' dugout. Otherwise, they would have gotten nailed with that bat.
And the second thrown bat for Boylston this game. Give that man some pine tar.
Or some stickum or something.
Stickum is the football usage. Baseball players use pine tar.
Okay, all right.
As he decorates his bat with some pine tar now.
Well, either way, he's got to find a way to have that bat stick to his hands.
Needs something to keep his hands on that bat. Can't be hitting a baseball if the bat's not in your hand, that's for sure.
1-1 pitch upcoming here from the lefty Berg. As a sign, he delivers. That's up high for a ball. I'm glad you brought that to my attention. This is a baseball game, not a football game. So, but we had the same idea, though.
Oh, correct, yeah.
2-1 pitch.
Something.
And let's see here. Did he check his swing? No, he did not. Peel down to first, and that'll be a strike against Boylston. 2-2 the count on the Scouts left fielder, Luke Boylston.
Yeah, definitely if you come to a Scouts game and you take a spot on either a left or right field line, definitely be aware that the bat might be coming your way.
Or a ball. You never know.
Hopefully it's a ball. You definitely don't want a bat coming your way.
And also, too, if you catch a foul ball here at Grace Field, particularly if you are of a young age, a child, return those to the press box and you will get a rather cool surprise. It'll be worth your while as Boylston will strike out swinging for the second out of the inning. Jarrett Lindsay will now come to the plate. And good old Jarrett's looking for a hit tonight. Walked his first time up, popped out the second, and he flew out to center his last time up. Lindsay bats from the right side against the lefty Berg. The pitch. And that is down low for a ball. 1-0 the count on Lindsay. Well, as you would expect, this is going to be yet another busy week for the Scouts. Had a day off yesterday, as that pitch is taken for a strike. Of course, no teams in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League play baseball games on Monday. That is the designated day off for everybody. Pitch misses, and now the count moves to 1-1 strike. After this game tonight, both teams will swap fields. We'll be making the trip to Licking County tomorrow night. That game scheduled for a 7:05 start as that pitch is fouled back towards the screen. And then the rest of the week looks like this. On Thursday, Southern Ohio, the Copperheads, they're coming to Xenia on Thursday night. That game is scheduled for a 7:05 start. Then we'll head to Athens, your stomping grounds, Riley, with you being an Ohio University product, a proud Bobcat. 2-2 pitch on the way by Berg. And Lindsay will lift a fly ball into right field. And that'll be caught for the final out of the frame as the Scouts go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom half of the fifth. 5 innings in the books here at Grady's Field. It is Xenia 11 and Licking County 6. This is your home for Xenia Scouts baseball, the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Welcome back to Grady's Field, top half of the sixth. It is the Scouts leading the Settlers 11-6, and Noah Orlando simply let that ground ball get by him that time. We've seen Orlando make some great plays out there in the field, but a grounder by the shortstop, Zabasic, gets by him. Now the only question is, do they charge an error to him, and it looks like they do.
Fifth error for the Scouts, and that's not something we're used to seeing from this team, but games like this happen. Looks like Bacon got in there as our new second baseman.
So that'll be a substitution for the Scouts out there. Meanwhile, Caleb Eater still out there on the mound for the Scouts, the big right-hander from Indiana Wesleyan, Charlie Danis, Riley Harshman. And we're joined in the broadcast booth now by the writer for the Scouts this year. That'd be Mr. Luke Sievert. Luke, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Caleb Eater with an 0-1 count. And that's a hit batsman right there. Boy, it's been a little bit of an issue for Eater as he's come way inside, particularly on right-handed batters tonight. He hits Ott in the back. So that'll move Zabasic over to second. And Ott will go on down to first after being hit by the pitch. You know, Luke, Riley and I were talking earlier in the game about how it was a really productive stretch, a really productive weekend for the Scouts. They're trying to go for their fourth straight win. What has head coach Bubba Cates liked about this recent stretch of ball for Xenia?
Oh, he's really talked a lot about the team chemistry, and he told me after the first game he'd love to see that chemistry 2 weeks down the road. I asked him this weekend, after about 1 week of play, what he was thinking, and he was just...
As Eater delivers the ball down low.
He was very excited about it, very ecstatic. He actually gave me an example of how we've seen that on the field. I forget which night it was, but second baseman right now, Zach Bacon, got his first base hit of the year, and the entire Scouts dugout was up and clapping and cheering for him. And he just said that, Kate said that if he already has a fan club this far into the season, then that's a great thing to see.
And that's a base hit down the left field line. This might end up being an RBI single for Wilson, and it will be, as coming around to score is Zabasic. It's an RBI single for Sam Wilson, and how about the Settlers? They continue to inch a little closer to Xenia here. It's now 11-7 in favor of the Scouts.
Still nobody out here in the 6th inning.
Well, clearly, Luke, the weekend was very productive for the Scouts, taking a couple games from Hamilton. You know, these are teams across the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League that are still trying to get used to each other from a pitching standpoint, from a hitting standpoint. As that pitch gets away from Eder, goes to the backstop. Both runners are going to move up a base. Ott heads to third. Wilson moves up to second on the play. Particularly the Scouts' offense has been looking a lot better. What have you been noticing about the Scouts' bats lately?
You know, they've just been tallying hits up the past couple of nights, and they've really shown the ability to come back when they're down. I believe their last 3 wins on this 3-game win streak.
Ground ball up the middle, and that'll be a base hit. Another run will come into score for Licking Valley. That's an RBI single for Miguel Pimentel, his first hit of the night. And now that Xenia lead, not looking so comfortable at the moment. Scouts now lead 11-8 after that RBI base knock by Pimentel. Go ahead and finish up your point, Luke.
Yeah, they've had to come back from being down quite a bit this season. I believe in every single one of their wins, they've had to do that. So it's just very impressive to see that the resiliency of that team, the ability to not get down on themselves when they're losing and just fight back and get themselves back into ball games and sometimes win those ball games.
So 1-0 count. Actually, a base hit that last time up by Pimentel as Garrett Roberts is waiting at the plate for Licking Valley.
You know, something to point out here, Caleb Eder's only thrown, let me count them, 7 pitches this inning, and has allowed 2 hits and also hit a guy, so not doing throwing not that many pitches, but Licking County's all over him.
And now Xenia coach Bubba Cates is coming out to the field, and I have a feeling that a pitching change might be on his mind. He already visited Eder once before. And Cates looks like, well, hold on. Eder was offering him the ball, but Cates is just talking to him for right now. Hands at his hips. He might be allowing, looks like a right-hander down there to get loose for Xenia before the home plate umpire breaks up the meeting on the mound. Now the home plate umpire will make his way towards the mound. Wouldn't be surprised here if Cates takes the ball and signals for a pitching change right here. Cates now singles down to the bullpen. We'll have a pitching change, and we'll tell you about the new pitcher for the Scouts in just a moment as Luke Sievert, writer in charge for the Scouts this season, joins us here in the broadcast booth, continues to talk with us. It is Xenia 11, Licking County 8 as we continue to play ball here in the top half of the 6th. New pitcher on the mound for the Xenia Scouts. It is the right-hander Andrew Verbrugi. Hillsdale College product, and he has been tasked to get it out here for the Scouts here in the top half of the sixth. 2 runs have already come in to score for the Settlers as they have cut the Scouts' lead to 11-8. Charlie Danis, Riley Harshman, Luke Sievert join you for the broadcast booth here at Grady's Field. And now coming to bat for the Settlers is Garrett Roberts, the Licking County first baseman. He's grounded out to the pitcher. He is flied out to right, and he's also singled and scored in this game.
And for Brugge this year so far has done a very good job for the Scouts, always coming in relief, doing a very good job of keeping runners keeping runners from scoring, I should say.
And that pitch is swung on and missed by Garrett Roberts. By the way, want to give a big shout out to Trish Verbrugge, part of our chat sheet tonight. She was one of the patrons that told us about the bright camera for our broadcast earlier this evening, as that pitch is taken outside for a ball, 1-1 count. Trish, thank you so much for pointing that out. And now you get to watch your son pitch a little bit here at Grady's Field. She's got to be one proud mama at the moment. 1-1 pitch. That's down low for a ball. 2-1 the count. Runners at first and third. Wilson's at third. Pimentel is at first. Both those guys with RBI singles. Or was it Pimentel with a 2-run single?
I have Pimentel with the 2-run single. Correct, yeah.
So Pimentel driving into this inning. That's been the scoring thus far for Licking County. Meanwhile, the count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike as Verbrugge continues to miss the strike zone, and that pitch is up high for a ball. And that is a walk. Garrett Roberts with a walk. So Trish responded to us, like the compliment that we handed out, and like any good mom, she wants her son's name to be pronounced correctly. It's actually Verbrugge, like rug. Verbrugge.
We got you, Trish.
As that pitch is down low for a ball. Thank you, Mama, for Verbrugge. You see? Got it right.
There we go.
1-0 pitch. Upcoming to Turner Hill now, as he will bat for Licking County. Bases are now loaded. Still nobody out here in the top half of the sixth as the Scouts, and it's weird saying this, clinging to an 11-8 lead as that pitch is up high for a ball.
Verbrugge here going to have to do a job here. The base is juiced. Nobody out. He's going to have to find a way to get outs here any way he can.
Turner Hill takes a strike. 2-1 pitch on the way. And by the way, for parents, for siblings, relatives, anybody related to these players who listen to our broadcast, if we make a pronunciation error, please let us know ASAP. Pitch is inside for a ball. The very least that we can do as announcers is to try to pronounce your son, your nephew, your grandson, wherever the case may be, their last name or their first name, their whole name, the correct way.
I second that.
3-1 pitch outside. And Hill will allow another run to score. It's a bases-loaded walk for Turner Hill as Wilson will come in to score. And, boy, the Scouts at one point had an 11-2 lead. Now it's 11-9, and there's still nobody out here in the top half of the sixth. 3 runs have come across the plate so far for Licking County.
That proves you can never get too comfortable in baseball.
So now Austin White will come to the plate. You know, Luke, there was another thing I wanted to talk with you about tonight. You talked about the resilience exhibited by the Scouts lately. I think another big reason that they've been able to win a bunch of games here as of late, it's been that bullpen. They've kept them in games, and they've protected leads as well.
Yeah, the bullpen has been great. You know, there was a string, I believe it was 6 games in a row, where the starting pitcher for the Scouts allowed a run in the first inning. So we've seen some starters struggle throughout the beginning of this year, but in the games that they've won, the bullpen has been able to come in, relieve those starters if they're struggling, and just they've been excellent. Shut down. We've seen good performances from Tom Flesser. Verbrugge right here has been pretty good. And Landon Myers pitched well the other night. So
1-0 pitch, scorched down the left field line, foul. Sam land atop the batting cage.
Sorry about that. Sam Drill is another guy who has a couple of saves now on the year, and we've just seen some excellence out of that Scouts bullpen. It's very encouraging for both Scouts fans and Scouts manager Bubba Cates to see that.
1-1 pitch on the way. That pitch is up high. Settling under it. And making the catch. It looks like Luke Boylston made the position switch. He was in left field originally, but they have switched him over to first. Taking over for Jarrett Lindsay, who was manning that spot.
So I believe, partner, I think Bacon came in for Lindsay because it looks like Tuttle is the one out there occupying left field now.
Okay.
So Boylston to first, Lindsay to the bench, Bacon to second, Tuttle to left.
And luckily for, at least from the Scouts pitching perspective, a pop out to first for the first out of the inning. That pitch is down low now to Nathan Dill, the designated hitter. Had a single his last time up.
So Andrew Verbrugge here going to have to build off that first out he just made, try to get a second one here, and try to keep these pitches in Connor Regan's hands.
That pitch is down low for a ball. And how about this? I made a comment about, grandparents and uncles and aunts and parents watching their kids tonight on our stream. We continue to get more and more on the chat list. That's a line out to Bacon. He dives to second, and he's out. Nice play by Zach Bacon. He snagged the line drive, and then he was able to get to second base in time. Not your most conventional double play, but by golly, that will work. 3 runs cross the plate for Licking County. We head to the bottom half of the 6th. It is Xenia 11, Licking County 9. This is your home for Xenia Scouts Baseball, the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. What a play.
Number 15, Dugan Darnell.
See, like that in here. See how they got the score down.
Bottom half of the 6th here at Grady's Field. Scouts leading the Settlers 11-9. Boy, we have been treated to an offensive slugfest here in Xenia. As Dugan Darnell takes a first pitch strike from the lefty Berg, who is still out there on the mound for the Settlers. His ERA has certainly taken a beating here so far tonight, but Settlers continue to have him out there on the hill as Darnell takes a ball. 1-1 the count. Pitch is outside for a ball. Mentioned in the last half inning how we're getting so many people on our chat list. Of course, we talked about Miss Verbrugge. Now we're getting shout-outs from Sue Chambers, watching her grandson Chandler Chambers. There's a base hit up the middle for Dugan Darnell. That's his second hit of the night.
Darnell putting together a very nice game with his second hit there, as you mentioned. He's got 3 RBIs, a couple off walks, but as we said earlier, man, any way you can get it, it's the way you got to get it, and that's how Darnell's been doing it today.
Also getting a thank you from the grandparents of Chad Harper, the catcher for the Settlers, and we're even hearing from Terry Bills. He's watching Ben Bills tonight from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. Thank you, everybody, for watching our broadcast, for listening to our broadcast. We are nothing without you fine folks. And it looks as though that a pitching change is going to be made here by Licking County. We'll step aside. Bottom half of the 6th here at Grady's Field. It is Xenia 11, Licking County 9. Bottom half of the 6th here in Xenia, where the Scouts lead the Settlers 11-9, and a new pitcher is on the mound for the Settlers. And boy, this young man has one heck of a name, Cannon Duke. That's right, first name Cannon, last name Duke. 6'1", 180-pound right-hander from the state of Tennessee. Plays his college ball at Southwest Tennessee Community College. He takes over for the lefty Spencer Berg, who just left the ball game.
Berg tonight allowed 6 hits and 3 runs, had 4 strikeouts, and threw over 60 pitches. So pretty decent in relief there for Berg after Torbert got, for lack of a better term, drilled by the Scouts offense in that second inning.
So now will be Nick Tuttle who comes to the plate. He originally was at second base, but now he is in left field. So Zach Bacon took over at second base. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of this batting order shakes out for the Scouts going forward. Tuttle, meantime, Singleton scored his last time up. That was back in the 4th. He's got a runner on first base in the form of Dugan Darnell. Ball gets away. Darnell might get a couple of bases out of this. Darnell is going to round second, and he will stay put at second. Boy, that ball got away from the catcher, Harper. I thought initially that if Darnell had gotten a better break, he might have been able to find himself into third base on that play, but instead he only manages to move up just one base. Either way, another player in scoring position for the Scouts. Tuttle working with a 1-0 pitch against Cannon Duke. Duke with the pitch. And that pitch is up high for a ball. 2-0 the count. And boy, Riley, we've seen some interesting pitching motions. Dukes might take the cake.
For the season right now, I would have to agree with you. That's a pretty pure sidearm angle that Duke takes, and what that does, it does confuse the batter a little bit because they're used to an over-the-shoulder approach.
And that pitch almost gets away from the catcher, Harper.
But yeah, with that sidearm, you're looking for that window at a different spot, and it's coming in different. It comes in weird with a different spin. So some sidearm pitchers can find success with that trickery in their arm slot.
So now it's a 3-0 count on Tuttle. Here's the pitch. That's down low. Tuttle walks on 4 straight pitches. And now Noah Orlando coming to the plate.
So scouts here are trying to do a job. They've seen that their lead dwindle these past couple innings, and now they're going to try to kick it back up a notch and try to retake a bigger lead.
Orlando has had a nice night. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored back in the second. Singled in the third, doubled in the fourth.
You know, Luke, on our broadcast these past 4 games, you mentioned the athleticism of this team. What do you think are the chances of a double steal here?
You know, I do think that's a pretty good chance.
As the runner going back to second on the play. Nice heads-up throw right there by the catcher, Harper. Continue.
Could see a double steal here, or as Noah Orlando just scored around, you could see the bunt. But one thing I'd like to point out about Orlando's recent hitting, he told me after Friday night's game in Galleon that he changed his approach at the plate, and it's really been working out for him so far.
Butting out to the first baseman, Orlando laying down a successful sacrifice bunt, getting both runners over. Darnell to third, Tuttle to second. Nice sacrifice bunt by the shortstop, Noah Orlando.
Yeah, so you saw the bunt there, but Orlando has 2 hits on the night. He told me he changed his hitting approach, and it's really worked out for him since then.
So now Carson Wright will bat once again for the Scouts. He got hit by pitches last time up. Got a single. He has scored a run as well. Done a little bit of everything. Also has a sacrifice bunt in this game. Wright bats from the left side. This is a high pop-up into foul ground. Giving chase the third baseman, Pimentel, and Pimentel able to make the snag in foul territory for the second out.
And on that one pitch there, the entire infield was in. They were trying to prevent Darnell from scoring from third, and now after one pitch, they don't really have to worry about that as they'll go back into normal depth and try to make this play at first.
Chandler Chambers now coming to the plate. And we mentioned earlier that his grandmother, Sue Chambers, is watching the game tonight. Cannon Duke with the pitch, just inside for a ball. Chandler's had a decent night at the plate. Grounded out to the pitcher. He's got a single and scored in this game. Also struck out looking. And he had a walk his last time up. 1-0 pitch on the way. That's down low for a ball. And the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes. Ryan Berlesman waits on deck for the Scouts. Saw some activity in the Scouts bullpen. Don't know if they're going to stick with Verbrugge out there on the mound. There's no action in the bullpen at the moment, but I thought I saw some scurrying down there. 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a call strike, 2-1.
We mentioned a couple times over these broadcasts that Verbrugge is on a pitch limit this summer. So be wary of that, as he did pitch Sunday, I believe, in a great relief effort against the Hamilton Joes. So definitely still feeling the effects of that.
2-1 pitch on the way to Chambers. That catches the outside corner for a call strike. So now it's even, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Chambers. Darnell sits at third. Tuttle sits at second. 2 gone. Here in the bottom half of the 6th, Scouts looking to add some insurance, leading the Settlers 11-9. And now time has been called by Chambers.
It's a big pitch here for Cannon Duke, having these runners on second and third now. 2 outs. This could end the inning, and end the inning without a Scout scoring a run after a hit and a walk to start out the inning. So this is very big for Duke if he can get out of this jam for his team unscathed.
Chambers waiting on the 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Chambers swings and misses. Foul tip. Strike 3, and that will end the inning. No runs for the Scouts. They do get a run. They leave a couple men on base. 6 innings in the books here in Xenia. The Scouts leading the Settlers 11-9. This is Xenia Scouts baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Yeah.
Top half of the 7th here in Xenia. Scouts leading the Settlers 11-9. Charlie Danis, Riley Harshman. By the way, thanks. Join us in the broadcast booth. You can catch all of Luke's writing material on xeniascouts.com all season long. Luke does a great job covering this team, and we are happy to have him as part of the media contingent, as they like to call us here in Xenia. Glad to have him on board here in 2018. And so the Settlers, let's see here. Looks like they are going to be setting up a pinch hitter here. So the Scouts looking to get something going here. Actually, I take that back. Chad Harper still in there, the catcher. Thought I saw the home plate umpire making a signal that would lead one to believe that a change had been made, but apparently I misspoke. So 0-1 the count on Chad Harper, the catcher for the Settlers. He has singled, he has lined out to short, and fielder's choice as well.
For Brugge here, starting this inning with no runners on base, so he's going to be a lot more composed on this mound. Going to be a lot more focused and ready to throw strikes here.
0-2 pitch on the way. That's outside for a ball, 1-2 the count. During this inning, we'll have our stat of the night, where we talk about important stats used in the game of baseball. And we've got a good one for you tonight, as that pitch is taken outside for a ball. Tonight, Riley, we're going to be talking slugging percentage. That's a big important number in baseball these days, but I'm sure that there are a lot of people trying to figure out how do you exactly calculate that. So we'll talk about that later on in the inning. Meanwhile, Chad Harper, the catcher, continues to work against the right-hander for Brugge. 2-2 the count on the Settlers' backstop. On deck for Lincoln County is Casimir Zabasic, and the pitch hit Harper. So Harper will reach via the HBP. So Casimir Zabasic will come up now. Or Zabasic, excuse me. 6 foot, 170-pound, left-handed batting player. Plays at Monroe Community College in Rochester, New York.
For Brugge's got to forget about that hit by pitch here and try to bear down and throw some strikes. Try to keep it low in the zone. Help his middle infielders turn something here.
For Brugge, pitches, and that's down low for a ball. 2-0 the count.
And something we haven't seen for Brugge struggle with really this year is control, and he's done so far in this game. We'll look to hone in here, try to find that strike zone.
The pitch. That's inside for a ball. 2-1 the count. Real quick, Riley, if one were to calculate slugging percentage, how would you do so?
So slugging percentage measures a player's batting power. They calculate it by dividing a player's total bases by the amount of at-bats they have, so you don't get those walks in there.
3-0 pitch in there for a call strike.
Because walks do not count as an at-bat technically. It's only a plate appearance, so you calculate that by dividing total bases, which is the amount of bases a player touches over the course of a season, and divide that by their at-bats.
For Brugge, delivers, and it's a high fly ball out in left field. Tuttle will make the catch for the first out.
Good job there by Verbrugge, getting that ball outside, producing that pop-up, and letting his defense do the work here.
Slugging percentage, would you say it's kind of like the batting average for power hitters in a way? Trying to gauge how valuable those power hitters can be from an extra base standpoint?
For sure, in a way. That's how it does. Adam Dunn, guy who is known for hitting a lot of home runs and striking out a lot. He had a very high slugging percentage because when you think about it, one at-bat for a home run, that's 4 bases. One at-bat, you can do the math there, 4 divided by 1. Can definitely help you right there for your slugging percentage.
The pitch, a foul ball down the left field line. Boylston gave chase, but that one will fall. 1-1 the count. You know, I find this truly amazing. So you would expect a guy like Barry Bonds to be up high when it comes to career slugging percentage. He slugged, let's see here, .607, which is pretty doggone good. But listen to these names in the top 4. As for Brugge, kicks and deals. That's a grounder over the third. Darnell bobbling it. He'll throw over to first, and it's not going to be in time. That was a hard-hit grounder that Darnell was not able to handle cleanly that time. Tried to throw over to first, but was not able to get the runner. Harper moves up to second. Dylan Ott reaches safely.
And nothing but Brugge can do about that. He just has to forget about that play. Can't really blame anybody. It's a hard hit ball. He just needs to keep focusing in here, try to keep producing those ground balls, and keep trying to get outs.
And that's another error on the Scouts. That's now 6 for Xenia in the ballgame.
Something Coach Cates will definitely be talking to his players about after the game.
Sam Wilson delivers, and that's a strike.
Fielding's not something they've struggled with, as we've said, really to date. But today it's all coming out. So the Scouts are going to have to do what they can as a defense and focus up.
So for Brugge, now we'll have to bear down here a little bit as he digs in against Sam Wilson. The pitch, and that floats in there. Oh, just missing on the inside for a ball. Getting back to my original point about on-base percentage, listen to some of these names in the top 4. Jimmy Fox was number 4, .609. Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse, was .632. As for Brugge, delivers. That's up high for a ball, 2-1 the count. Ted Williams, .634. And then how about this? Babe Ruth, .690 slugging percentage for his career.
714 home runs will definitely get you a high slugging percentage.
And that's a ground ball foul down the third base line as the count will even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. But the point I'm trying to make, Riley, is this. Baseball's been played for a long, long time, and we've had some great sluggers over the years, but I just find it interesting that the top 4 guys, when it comes to slugging percentage, they played in that same era. You know, Ruth, Williams, Gehrig, Fox, those were all guys that played from anywhere from the 1920s to the 1930s, some into the 1940s. Darnell, not able to get the ground ball. Throw back into the infield very quickly, and boy, the Scouts are facing some trouble here now. For that base hit by Sam Wilson, the bases are now loaded. But, I mean, don't you find that interesting as Pimento comes to the plate that, you know, out of all the sluggers, out of all the great hitters that we've seen in Major League Baseball, all those guys from what people consider to be a very treasured time in the history of baseball, the Golden Age, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, those are the guys at the top of the list. I just find it very odd that nobody from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, like, heck, nowadays, you know, guys that have played in the 2000s are not up that high.
Yeah, it is very interesting, but there's a few things you can attribute to that. One of those being how pitching has evolved. You know, we see pitchers nowadays, you got a lot of guys throwing above 90 miles per hour, where back in that day, 90, 93, 94 was, you're a fast pitcher back in the 20s and 30s. So that's one thing, that pitching has evolved in such a way where it makes it harder for hitters to get those types of base hits. Another thing is you see a lot of singles nowadays, where back then you'd see doubles because you have fields back in those days that were just bigger. The fences are down to 450 feet. You know, so I mean, you did see a lot of home runs, but you also saw a lot of doubles, a lot of triples. Whereas nowadays, those doubles and triples might be singles.
Places like the Polo Grounds, where extra base hits could be had depending upon where you hit the ball. Very good point. So now Pimento will come to bat here for Brugge. Talking to from Coach Cates, and hopefully the pep talk works. As for Brugge, delivers a first pitch strike to Pimento. He singled his last time up. He's also been hit by a pitch and has scored a run in this game. Scouts are up 11-9, but bases are loaded with Settlers with only 1 out here in the top half of the 7th. Scouts are looking to protect this lead. Boy, a ground ball right here would be absolutely wonderful if you're the Scouts. Pimento swings, but they'll take a pop-up as well. The catch will be made by the pitcher for Brugge. How about that?
Not something you see too often, is as a coaches rule there. They never want to see their pitcher making a play like that, a pop-up. They don't want them making a catch, but for Brugge there, having no problem making the play.
So now the Scouts are 1 out away from getting out of this inning. Standing in their way is Garrett Roberts, the Settlers' first baseman. He walked his last time up. He is also singled in this game. Light shining bright here at Grady's Field. The pitch, and oh no, that hit the batter. Boy, it looked from up here that it was close. I don't know about that, partner.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. For Brugge, he's got a lot of very nasty breaking stuff in his arsenal, and we've seen that plenty of times today and in his past performances, and that was just another one of those. I didn't really see it clip the batter. It looked like he got out of the way of that, but
as Turner Hill fouls it back to the screen. So, boy, with that hit by pitch, runner coming in to score, that being Chad Harper, and now we have a one-run affair. Scouts at one point had an 11-2 lead in this game, but it's been whittled down to the bare bone. Pitch is swung on and missed by Hill. 0-2 count. Let's see if Andrew right here can find the necessary stuff, find the necessary location to get out of this inning and try to preserve now this one-run lead for the Scouts. For Brugge has his sign. After the long look into his catcher, Regan. The pitch. Little blooper into center. Orlando is under it. And that will end the inning. But another run crosses the plate for Licking Valley. And, folks, I'm here to tell you right now, we got ourselves a ball game. Stretch time here at Grady's Field. We head to the – folks, I'm here to tell you right now, we got ourselves a ball game. Stretch time here at Grady's Field. We head to the bottom half of the seventh with the Scouts leading the Settlers 11-10. This is Xenia Scouts baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Someone say you take me out to the ball game. Me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Mike Trout 11th on this list. I don't care if we never get back for its root. Root for the Scouts. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out of the old ball game. I've heard better renditions.
Christ.
Oh, man. Oh boy. Hey, keep your day jobs in here. I'm just kidding. Okay. All right, back to it. Yeah, let's get back to it.
Back here at Grady's Field, they have stretched here in Xenia. We head to the bottom half of the seventh. And we got ourselves an interesting game here. The Settlers have rallied back. 4 runs in the 5th, 3 runs in the 6th, 1 run in the 7th. And the Scouts' lead is now down to 1, 11-10 in favor of Xenia. Leading off this inning is Ryan Bertelsman for the Scouts, and that's a ground ball foul down the third base line. Bertelsman flew out to center his last time up. He is officially, let's see here, 1 for 4 on the night. During this inning, we'll get you updated with some more scores around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. In fact, we actually have a couple finals to pass along to you. As the pitch was in there for a call strike. Earlier today, Grand Lake Mariners, they took down Irish Hills in impressive fashion to being Leprechauns by a final of 15-3. As Bertelsman swings, and that'll be a pop-up. Shallow right field, taken in by the second baseman, Wilson, for the first out.
You know what the Scouts need to do here is they are still up by 1, but they need to do what they can to get some base runners on.
The other final that took place in the GLSCL, Gallium winning a pitch. The other final that took place in the GLSCL, Gallium winning a pitcher's duel over Southern Ohio by a final of 3-1. And standing in for the Scouts now is Connor Regan, the catcher. Pitch is in there for a call strike. Other scores. Well, actually, there's only one other game being played at the moment. Cincinnati leading Hamilton 7-2 in the bottom half of the 7th. That game taking place at Hamilton. There's a floater down the right field line, but it's going to be foul. 2 games were canceled today due to weather. Richmond was not able to get in their game with Muskegon, and Lima was not able to play Lake Erie. Both those games canceled due to weather.
Actually, partner, I think instead of Connor Regan, Truman Brown is in the box right now.
I was going to say, Connor Regan's not that short. No disrespect to Truman, but that is a pitch outside for a ball. Nor does he wear the number 3. That would happen to belong to Truman Brown. 5'10", 185-pound right-handed batter from Austin P. University. Austin P. University. Truman swings and misses. Strike 3. Second out of the inning.
You know, the momentum started with the Scouts in this game with that big 8-run second. They added on to it a little bit in the 4th, but since then, nothing really going. All the momentum is in favor of the Settlers, and so Scouts need to do whatever they can to regain some momentum here.
Boylston now digs in. Pitch inside for a ball. 2-0 the count. Pitch is outside, so now we move to 3-0. By the way, I want to give a shout out to the crew here up in the press box. They sang a rendition of the "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" during the 7th inning stretch. They tried.
They tried. They did their best, and that's all you.
They
can
gave it
ask
the
for.
old college try, as we like
And
to say.
that's all you can really ask for.
Yep. It's all about having fun.
I think Will Wentz, who's helping us up here, also helped out with the "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." So thank you guys.
Yep. Luke Boylston, meanwhile, walked on 4 straight pitches. It's the second time that's happened for the right-hander Duke, Cannon Duke, that is, for Lincoln County. And now Zach Bacon will come to the plate. He entered in as a defensive substitution, came in for Nick Tuttle, who was playing second, but now Tuttle's in left field in this game. It's back to first, runner back in plenty of time. Zach Bacon getting his first hit as a Scout over the weekend. He had gone off to a rough start at the plate. And now time has been called. And Luke Siebert, the writer extraordinaire for the Scouts, told us about how once he got that base hit, Riley, his teammates, were up there on the front step of the dugout cheering him on. And that really shows me that the camaraderie is slowly but surely building with this team. That's good to see.
Oh, yeah, it was a great scene when Bacon, he hit a shot out there to right field for his first hit of the season. And sometimes it only takes one, so we'll see if Bacon can ride off that first hit and get a second one here, and the Scouts really need him here.
The side-arming Duke delivers, and that pitch is way outside for a ball. When it comes to being a sidearm pitcher, Riley, you really got to watch your mechanics because there are some times where you really don't know where the ball is going. And so far, Duke has been having a tough time getting the ball over the plate. 1-0 pitch on the way from Cannon Duke, which, by the way, is an awesome name. 1-0 pitch is in there for a call strike.
The thing that were sidearm pitchers, as you said, their mechanics, the main thing they have to worry about is their release point, because when you come from the side like that, it's very easy for the ball to be inside or out, way too inside or way too outside, depending on when you release the ball. So that's something that's kind of muscle memory for some sidearm pitchers, is knowing when to release that ball.
1-2 pitch Well, actually, 1-1 pitch is in there for a strike. Now the count goes to 1-2. Bacon still hanging in there in the right-handed batter's box. Pitch. Fouled off to the right. Count remains at 1-2 strikes. On the Glenville State product, Zach Bacon. Second baseman for the Scouts this evening. Lights shining bright. And boy, for an evening where we thought we were going to get some rain, it's turned out to be a lovely night for baseball, if I do say so myself.
And the rain here in Xenia earlier in the day before the game cooled it off rather nicely. So very, very nice night here.
I'll take it. 2-2 pitch, or 1-2 pitches outside. Now the count is 2-2 strikes on Bacon. Duke with the throwback to first, runner back in plenty of time. Scouts leading the Settlers 11-10. Runner on first, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 7th. 2-2 pitch. That's down low. Runner back to first. No, he is tagged out. Straying off the bag a little too much that time was Boylston, and he got caught leaning as Harper throws him out at first base. So that's how the 7th will end for the Scouts. No runs, no hits, no men left on base. We head to the top half of the 8th. Scouts 11, Settlers 10, here in Xenia. Top half of the 8th here in Xenia. Scouts leading the Settlers 11-10, and another new pitcher on the mound for the Scouts as we get to see Sam Drayle tonight.
Drayle, he's taken over late in games. I think he's taken his spot as the closer for the Scouts possibly this summer as he's appeared in late games.
Looks like the Scouts will ask him to pitch 2 innings here. Here's a high fly ball out to left center, but the catch will be made by Chambers for the first out. No harm, no foul as White flies out to center for the first out.
And Drayle's got to love that. 1 pitch, 1 out to start out his appearance tonight. We'll look to continue that and try to hold on to this 1-run lead that the Scouts have.
So now Nathan Dill will come to the plate. The Settlers' designated hitter lined out to second his last time up. You know, Riley, I'm curious. You were a former baseball player. What was your strategy as a batter when it came to swinging at the first pitch, trying to work the count against the pitcher as Drayle rocks and deals and delivers a strike?
Well, my mindset going to the plate, first pitch is I was only going to swing at it if I absolutely loved it. If I absolutely loved the pitch, I was going to swing at it and try to drive it somewhere. Other than that, I was going to usually take that first pitch and try to see a couple pitches in and at bat.
0-1 pitch is swung on and missed by Dill, so now he's in an 0-2 hole against Drayle.
You know, and try to work the count. I was also smaller sometimes in my day, so, you know, I could also work a count with my height. So it was all about, I was just trying to see a couple pitches and just trying to find one I could drive.
0-2 pitch on the way from Drayle. That is swung on and missed. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night as Drayle sets Dill down on strikes. 2 away.
I love that from Drayle there, not messing around at all. Gets that 0-2 count and wants to get rid of deal there as soon as he can and does. Very good job by Drell there, setting him up, setting him down.
So now Chad Harper will come to the plate. Harper was hit by a pitch and came around to score back in the 7th. 2 down here in the top half of the 8th. 2 down here in the top half of the 8th. Scouts up by 1, 11-10. That breaking ball missed for Drell. 1-0 the count. Sam Drell, Cairn University product. School located in Pennsylvania. That's popped up on the right side. Foul and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike on the catcher, Harper.
Drell keeping the pace very high right now, working very quickly, as many scouts pitchers do out of the windup with nobody on. They like to work quick and get out of innings fast.
Drell with the pitch. There's a liner to center, but Chambers is right there to make the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning as Sam Drell sets down the Settlers in order. We head to the bottom half of the 8th. It's still Scouts 11, Settlers 10. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Bottom half of the 8th here at Grady's Field. This is Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network alongside Riley Harshman. I'm Charlie Danis. Scouts leading the Settlers 11-10. Xenia looking for its 4th straight win. And once again, Zach Bacon will come to the plate. And he was our batter the last time up before Luke Boylston got thrown out. 2-3 at third base. Got caught leading, and a great throw by the catcher Harper. Nailed him at first to end that last inning for the Scouts batting. Bacon takes a strike. Great throw by the catcher Harper. Nailed him at first to end that last inning for the Scouts batting. Bacon takes a strike from Cannon Duke. And next pitch from Duke is outside for a ball. 1-1 count now on Mr. Bacon.
Bacon here's just got to try to do a job here and get on base any way he can.
Bacon takes a strike.
Try to lengthen this lead for the Scouts, and the best way to do that is to get on base and let somebody else drive you in.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Bacon. That pitch is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Zach Bacon. Again, Scouts trying for their 4th straight win. They'd love to have some insurance here in the bottom. Again, Scouts trying for their 4th straight win. They'd love to have some insurance here in the bottom half of the 8th before they go back out into the field in the top half of the 9th. It's now a 3-2 count for Zach Bacon.
You know, with Darnell on deck, who's had a great day.
Pitch inside for a ball, and Bacon able to get a walk.
So good job there by Bacon getting on base, and now Darnell, who's had a very good day at the plate, coming up. He's seen the ball very well today, so something going for the Scouts here if they can.
So now Darnell comes to the plate, and like Riley talked about, he's had a good night, but he might be looking at a different pitcher. And looks like a left-hander is going to be coming out to face the left-handed batting Darnell. So while Licking County makes this pitching change, we will step aside. Bottom half of the 8th here at Grady's Field. Scouts leading the Settlers 11-10. We will be back with more of Xenia baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network in just a moment. New pitcher on the mound for Licking County, as Dugan Darnell will come to the plate for the Scouts. Xenia leading Licking County 11-10. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. This is Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Dugan here doesn't want to do too much. Just wants to stay within himself, get a base knock here. Just try to do anything. Try to move Bacon over. He needs to do a job here.
Gray Harmon, the new pitcher, delivers, and it's fouled back towards the screen by Darnell. Harmon, a 6'2", 190-pound left-hander from New Albany, Ohio, near Columbus. And he currently plays his college ball down in Cincy's for the Xavier Musketeers. Darnell waiting on the 0-1 pitch, but not before a throw over to first, and the runner is back in plenty of time. Darnell has had an excellent night at the plate. A couple of bases-loaded walks, and the runner is back in plenty of time. Darnell has had an excellent night at the plate. A couple of bases-loaded walks, giving him 2 runs early, runs batted in early on, and then an RBI single back in the 5th, and a single back in the 7th. He has certainly done his job in the 7th hole, as that pitch is taken for a strike. 0-2 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the 8th. Zach Bacon, after walking, takes his lead off of first. Darnell swinging the bat around a little bit, waiting on the pitch from Harmon. But no, Harmon throws back to first, and oh boy, Bacon was leaning a little bit that time, but Bacon was able to get back in time, as the left-hander Gray Harmon was able to display that weird little hitch move that lefties often use when it comes to throwing over to the bag, to the first base bag, that is. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Darnell retired for the first time tonight.
Number 9, Nick Tuttle.
So now Nick Tuttle will come to the plate. Tuttle singled and scored back in the second. Singled and scored back in the fifth. And walked in the seventh. Also has a strikeout swinging on the night. So he is officially 2 for 3. Tuttle, right-handed batter. Going up against the left-handed batting, or left-handed throwing, I should say, Gray Harmon.
You know, the bottom half of the order for the Scouts tonight has done a very good job accruing a lot of hits, a couple RBIs, doing a good job there at the bottom of the order, getting it back to the top.
Pitch is up high for a ball. 1-0 the count. Nick Tuttle. You're right about that. The bottom of the order certainly done his job for the Scouts tonight. They'd like to add to this lead, though. Only up by 1, 11-10. Here in the bottom half of the 8th. Tuttle takes a strike. 1-1.
Yeah, partner. 7, 8, 9 hitters all have
1-1.
Yeah, partner. 7, 8, 9 hitters all have 2 hits on the night. So when you're getting that type of production from 7, 8, 9, Coach Bubba K's has got to love that. 2 hits on the night. So when you're getting that type of production from 7, 8, 9, Coach Bubba K's has got to love that.
And like Luke was talking about earlier in the broadcast, Riley, these Scouts are starting to find ways to win. As that'll be a grounder to second. This could be a double play. 4, 6, 3, and the runner is safe at first. So Bacon is out due to the 4-6 put out. Tuttle, meanwhile, reaching on the fielder's choice, and that will allow Noah Orlando to bat in this inning. Last time up, Orlando was able to lay down a rather successful sacrifice, but this has also been a night where he scored a run, has a single, and a double. Tell you what, Noah Orlando, I mean, we keep singing this guy's praises, and for good reason. Good glove out there at shortstop, but very productive hitter in the 9-hole. He has certainly found his niche in that spot in the Scouts batting order as he takes a ball. Niche in that spot in the Scouts batting order as he takes a ball.
Does a very good job of seeing a lot of pitches in his at-bats as well. Usually does a very good job of not swinging too early, not getting out on first or second pitch, doing a good job seeing pitches and eating into that pitch count.
The Savannah State native waiting on the 1-0. Well, another throwback to first in the meantime, and the runner is back in plenty of time. Both these teams will be taking on one another tomorrow, only we will have a different venue. We will be up in good old Newark, Ohio. Actually, on the near the campus of Denison University. As the Settlers will be the home team. Actually, on the near the campus of Denison University. As the Settlers will be the home team in that one. 1-0 pitch outside for a ball, 2-0 the count. That game is scheduled for a 7:05 start, and we will have that game for you right here on the Senior Scouts Radio Network. And by the way, while I'm talking about Denison, congratulations to my sister, Victoria. Getting married last weekend, former Denison grad, marrying another Denison grad, that being Mr. Max Paulus. Got a chance to be a part of their wedding last weekend as the runner's back in playing time at first base. And boy, Riley, I had so much fun. One of the more fun weddings I've ever been a part of. And, you know, it's really special when a family member, particularly a sibling, gets married.
Got to be it. Congratulations there, partner. Hope you had a great time and glad to have you back here.
2-0 pitch. It's outside for a ball. Certainly a busy weekend for my family. So, boy, on the same day, how about this? On the same day that my sister and her now husband are going to start their honeymoon, which, by the way, they're going to be going to Greece and Italy as part of their stops over there in Europe. That same day, I'll be calling a baseball game at our alma mater. That's really cool. Orlando takes a walk. And so Tuttle will move up to second on the play. Back to the top of the order for the Scouts, where we get to see Carson Wright once again.
No, we might see a double steal here with Tuttle and Orlando occupying those bases. Both those guys got a lot of speed, but Wright is a left-handed batter, so that will leave a clear throw for Harper, the catcher, to third.
And Harper's got a good arm behind the plate as well.
Yeah, we've seen him rifle down a couple scouts runners today, so we'll look to see how risky Coach Cates is feeling for his players on the base paths.
Wright fouled out to third base his last time up. He's got a hit and a run scored in this game. Pitch down low, and boy, Harper able to save that ball, keep it from going to the backstop that time. As the count moves to 1 ball and no strikes. Scouts with a couple runners on base, first and second, 2 out. Up by a run. Wright trying to provide some insurance for the Scouts as they ready themselves for the Settlers in the top half of the ninth. Wright waggles the bat around a little bit, awaiting the 1-0 pitch from Harmon. Here it comes, and it is outside for a ball. 2-0 the count on Carson Wright. And now Harper will ask for time as we go out to the mound to talk with his lefty, Gray Harmon. So the Scouts, they're going to be at Licking Valley tomorrow. And then they got Southern Ohio, the Copperheads, back here in Xenia on Thursday. We then go to Athens on Friday night. Both those games scheduled for 7:05 starts. And then, partner, you and I are going to be hitting the road. We're going to be heading up to Michigan as Scouts take on the Leprechauns as part of a doubleheader on Saturday. As that pitch is taken for a strike by Wright. Count moves to 2 balls. Is taken for a strike by Wright. Count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. That doubleheader will begin on Saturday at 5:05. That's the start of the first game. And then the second game is tentatively scheduled for a 7:35 start. So we'll see how that goes. The pitch to Wright. That's down low. And Harper with the block. Throw back to second. And the runner is back in time. Boy, I tell you what. Harper with a big-time arm back there.
And he is certainly not afraid to sling it from behind runners. That was a little bit of a risky throw, but he's got a gun, so you got to trust it.
Yeah, beware of Chad Harper's arm. He's got a bazooka back there. 3-1 pitch on the way. Wright swings, and that's a ground ball up the first base line, so now we'll go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. Scouts up by 1 by a score of 11-10. 2 out here in the bottom half of the 8th. Carson Wright back in the left-handed batter's box against the lefty, Harmon. Harmon looks in for a sign from his catcher, Harper. He has it. Here's the payoff pitch. That's inside, and Wright earns himself a bases on balls.
Very good job by the Scouts hitters this inning of seeing as many pitches as they can and getting on base, and now they got the bases juiced.
So now Chandler Chambers comes to the plate once again, struck out swinging his last time up. Chambers, one of those players that likes to have the batting glove on the left hand, the bare hand on his right hand. And he's got a chance right here to pad this Scouts lead, only up by 1. A chance here to drive in a couple more runs before we head to the top half of the 9th. Pitch taken for a strike. 0-1 the count on Chambers. Chambers has grounded out the pitcher. He has singled and scored. He has struck out looking. He has walked, and he has struck out swinging.
Chambers here going to have to try to stay within himself with the bases loaded here late in the game, in a close game. You just have to stay within yourself here. Do the things you've been doing all game and just try to get a single. Just try to get that ball in play.
The runner going to home, and he is safe! How about that? The Scouts execute the stealing of home. What a play. What heads-up base running that time by Nick Tuttle. Tuttle slid in head first, got in ahead of the tag of Harper as Harmon was delivering the ball to home plate. Nick Tuttle, you are the man.
That was amazing base running there by Nick Tuttle. As one of the hardest things to do in baseball is steal home like that. nothing going on there for Chambers. He didn't lay down a bunt or anything. Tuttle just going. Got a great jump on it. Had a great slide getting around the tag, and great job there by Tuttle, and I don't know what else to say.
And that pitch is swung on and missed. Chambers strikes out swinging, but hey, you know what? That can end up being huge for the Scouts as they score a run on no hits, by the way. They leave a couple men on base. Let's now head to the top half of the ninth. The Scouts will try to protect a 2-run lead. It's Xenia 12, Licking County 10. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the ninth. Scouts looking to nail down their 4th straight win as they lead the Settlers 12-10. Sam Drill back to work on the mound, and he will deliver a first pitch ball. To Casimir Zabasic. And Zabasic takes a strike, 1-1. Zabasic. Ott, Wilson, the scheduled batters this inning for Licking County. That pitch is down low for a ball, 2-1 the count. Trail has really taken to the closer role for the Scouts team coming out of the bullpen. Luke Sievert was talking about it with us early on in the game. 3 balls, 1 strike now as Trail needs a strike here.
Yeah, Gerald does not want to put the first batter of the inning on base by any means.
The pitch up high for a ball. Just as you say that, Zabasic is able to get a walk. And so now the potential tying run will come to the plate in the form of Dylan Ott. And Ott's had an interesting night at the plate. He has flown out to left field. He reached second on an error by the third baseman. He reached safely on an error by the first baseman. Both those times he came around the score. Got hit by a pitch, came around the score on that, and reached via an error by the shortstop. So he has yet to record a hit, yet he has been on base 4 times, and he has scored 3 of those times. 1-0 pitch on the way from Drayle.
I imagine Coach Cates wouldn't like hearing that line from you there, partner, about Dylan Ott.
2-0 pitch is on the way. And, what makes that line more interesting is that Ott had been doing a great job of hitting the baseball.
Yeah.
Came into the game tonight sporting a .500 average, the best batting average of all players in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. So he's been getting on base. It's just that it hasn't been via hits. And now Sam Drayle needs to find the command real quick here. He's gone 2-0 to Ott, one of the more dangerous hitters in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. Drayle will throw back to first, and the runner will be back in plenty of time.
And he definitely didn't want to start out this inning with a walk to Sabazic because Sabazic today, 0 for 3 without a hit. So when you got a guy like that up, you definitely want to get him out, and Drayle unable to. But he's got to forget about that, bear down, try to throw some strikes.
Pitches a strike, 2-1 the count. Big Sam needed that one that time. As the count now moves to 2 balls and 1 strike on Dylan Ott. On deck is Sam Wilson, the Settlers' second baseman. Drayle will now throw back to first. And that was just more of a throw to keep the runner honest. Didn't really have a lot of oomph behind that throw. Then again, you don't want to fire a dart over there. He'll have it get by your first baseman and have that guy move up into scoring position.
Yeah, that's just Drill keeping run over there at first. Healthy over there.
2-1 pitch, cut on and missed. Boy, a violent hack by Ott, but he came up empty on the high fastball. 2-2 count. Now on the left fielder, Ott.
You know, that swing by Ott shows how eager he is right now to play, really just wanting to get a hit because he has not gotten a legitimate hit today. So Drell's got to keep a mental note of that, knowing how eager Ott is. Maybe throw something a little outside here, try to get him to chase.
Drell sets, delivers. That pitch is down low, so now we'll go full 3-2. Okay, if you're Licking Valley right here, do you think about sending the runner on this pitch?
I think you can with a count 3-2. Sabazic, you know, he's your shortstop, so he's got to have some speed over there. But Drell's been keeping him honest over there, as he does again. It's a risky move, but you got to take risks in baseball, especially with your tying running at the plate.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first. Nobody out here in the top half of the ninth. Scouts leading by 2. Drell with the pitch. That's up high. Second straight walk of the inning for Drell. As now the tying run is on base. The potential go-ahead run is now at home plate in the form of Sam Wilson.
Number 28.
You know, it's very weird to see that after Drell's 8th inning, only threw 7 pitches, got 3 outs, 1. You know, it's very weird to see that after Drell's 8th inning, only threw 7 pitches, got 3 outs, 1, 2, 3 very easily, and coming out here now and just struggling a bit with his command and his control. So he's got to do something to bear down here, especially with a runner in scoring position and, as you said, the lead runner at the plate.
Wilson 2 for 4 on the night with a couple of singles, also a couple of runs scored. He will look to bunt. Drell, pitch. Throw to first will be in time, but both runners move into scoring position. Sabazic to third, Ott to second, off of the successful sac bunt by Sam Wilson. 1 gone here in the top half of the ninth. And now Miguel Pimentel, one of the better RBI men in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League, coming to bat. Pimentel with a pop out to the pitcher his last time up, but he does have a single. Then hit by a pitch, scored that time. Drell with the throw and is down low for a ball. 1-0 the count. Boy, Drell's control has been off this inning, and that's putting it nicely. Here's the pitch. Down low for a ball. And now Drell will get a talking to here from his catcher. And by the way, I think his new catcher is Truman Brown. He came in.
Yeah. I believe you're right there, partner. And what Drell's got to do here, he's got to calm down and bear down. This is a very close game here late, and this is where you find out what you're made of as a baseball player. And he's in a jam here, but you can get out of anything. I mean, we've seen it today already.
Drell rocks and deals. That's a foul ball off to the right. 2-1 the count on Pimentel. Garrett Roberts waits on deck for Licking County.
And I like Drell going from the windup now to like regain that control and regain his focus. But when he goes from the windup, it allows those base runners to run free. So on a pass ball, be looking for them to move. 2-1
pitch, cut on and miss. Good fastball right there by Drell. So now it's a 2-2 count on Pimentel. Boy, big pitch right here. Big pitch by Drell. Time has now been called by Pimentel. He's now back in the batter's box. Pimentel versus Drell. Here we go with a 2-2 pitch. That's swung on, and it's a base hit to center field. 1 run will come in to score. They're going to wave another runner around, and he will score as well. A 2-run single by Miguel Pimentel, and this game is now tied at 12.
With that leading run on first with only an out here still in the top half of the ninth.
So Licking County not done yet here. Still 1 out here in the top half of the ninth. As Drell is not able to nail down the save. At the very least now, he's going to try to get this game to the bottom half of the ninth. Still tied. But in the meantime, he's got plenty of work to do here as he'll deliver a strike to Garrett Roberts, the first baseman who got hit by a pitch his last time up. Also has a hit in this game. Drayle with the pitch. Did Roberts offer at that? Apparently not. 1-1 the count.
As you said, partner, Drayle can still make it to the bottom half of the ninth, but will he have it tied? We remain to find out, so Drayle's got to do a job here and bear down, forget about those 2 runs he just allowed, and try to get these last 2 outs for the Scouts.
1-1 pitch. Throw back to first, and runner back in plenty of time. As the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Roberts. Turner Hill on deck for Licking County. Meanwhile, the go-ahead run, Pimentel will now take his lead off of first. As Drayle continues to work here in the top half of the ninth. Tied game 12-12 between the Settlers and the Scouts. The pitch. Breaking ball just missing. Sam was trying to drop a curveball in there that time, but it just missed a little high. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Roberts.
And Drayle really wanted that one as he eyed the pitch after and saw the ump call it a ball. He really wanted that one.
2-2 pitch. Fouled off to the right. We'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes with the batter, Garrett Roberts. Roberts, the batter. 2-2 pitch from Drayle. Outside. We'll go full 3-2.
Drayle does not want to lose Roberts here. Did a good job of starting out with some strikes and getting ahead early, but now he's lost that and needs to bear down here. Big pitch here, needs a strike.
Drayle sets. Payoff pitch. And that's a called strike 3. As Garrett Roberts thought that was a walk, once he heard the called strike 3 from our home plate umpire, he was hippity-hopping his way back to the Settlers bench. And what a big strike that was for Drayle. Big strike out there for Drayle, second out of the inning.
Yeah, huge for Drayle there. A walk there would have put the leading run on second base with only 1 out, and the way these Settlers have been batting the past few innings, coming back into this game, you definitely didn't want that.
Pitch is taken inside for a ball now by Turner Hill. Popped out the shortstop his last time up.
Didn't want that.
Pitch is taken inside for a ball now by Turner Hill. Popped out the shortstop his last time up. Can the potential go-ahead run at first in the form of Pimentel. Drayle is wanting to keep him right there. Pitch taken for a strike. 1-1 the count. If you are wondering who is scheduled to bat for the Scouts, 3, 4, 5 hitters. Heart of the order, Bertelsman.
Brown, I believe.
Yep, he's in a catcher in Boylston. Ground ball to Orlando. He'll throw over to first, and that'll be in time. But the Settlers tie this game 12-12. We head to the bottom half of the ninth. Let's see if there will be some ninth inning magic for the Scouts. They have a chance to win this game here at Grady's Field. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Well, we're headed to the bottom half of the ninth. After the Settlers score 2 runs in the top half of the inning, we have ourselves a 12-12 game between Lincoln County and Xenia. Let's see if the Scouts can pull off something magical here in the bottom half of the ninth. Leading things off for Xenia will be the designated hitter, Ryan Bertelsmann.
And if you're the Scouts, this is exactly who you want up. Bertelsmann, he's been a great hitter so far this year, and we'll look to continue that and try to come up big for his team.
Still on the mound for the Settlers is the lefty, Gray Harmon. He delivers a ball. 1-0 the count on Bertelsmann. Bertelsmann doesn't have a homer yet this season, as it's fouled off to the right. 1-1 the count on the Baylor product.
And Bertelsmann isn't looking to homer here. Bertelsmann's just looking to get on base. We know his speed. As long as he can get on first over there, he can definitely move himself to second via a steal.
Bertelsmann taking a ball. 2-1 the count. Stands to reason that Bertelsmann will get a pitch to hit right here, as Harmon needs to deliver a strike. 2-1 pitch. That pitch is swung on. Bertelsmann taking a healthy cut right there, but fouling it off to the right. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We've seen Bertelsmann a couple times come up with a hit with 2 strikes on him. Let's see if he can do it again here.
Harmon with the pitch. And Bertelsmann once again fouls it off to the right. Staying alive, 2-2. Remains the count on Bertelsmann. Bertelsmann, Brown, and Boylston. Boy, triple Bs for the Scouts here. When it comes to scheduled batters here in the bottom half of the ninth, they're looking to be the killer bees for the Scouts this inning. Looking to notch another win for Xenia, looking for their 4th straight win. 2-2 pitch. Bertelsmann swings. High fly ball out to left center. And that ball is going to be caught at the edge of the warning track by the center fielder, White. Boy, that sounded loud off the bat, but just had a little bit too much carry. The ballpark held it, and there's your first out of the inning.
Yeah, Bertelsmann's shoulder dipped a little bit there, which caused it to pop up like that and just stay in the air as it did. And White able to track it down as it was in the air for quite a long time. But good piece of hitting there by Bertelsmann. 2 strikes, able to put the ball in play somewhere, try to make something happen.
Truman Brown will now bat. Brown striking now, swinging his last time up. And he'll take a pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 the count on Truman Brown. One-zero pitch. Brown swings, and it's a grounder out. 1-0 pitch. Brown swings, and it's a grounder out to second. Wilson will throw to first, and that'll quickly be the second out of the frame.
Boylston here has to try to get something started with 2 outs. Getting on base in any way he can find.
Boylston walking his last time up. So 2 gone here in the bottom half of the ninth. Settlers and Scouts tied at 12. The pitch. Boylston swings and fouls it off to the right.
You know, all the momentum the Scouts had at the beginning of this game is pretty gone. Now they scored those first 11 runs in those first couple innings and have only scored 1 since. And the Settlers have been scoring all the runs.
That pitch is swung on and missed. By the way, how huge is that steal of home plate now?
Yeah.
That took place in the bottom half of the 8th. Otherwise, the Settlers would be trying to nail down a win right here. 0-2 pitch to Boylston. That's down low for a ball. 1-2 the count. Classic waste pitch by Harmon. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Luke Boylston. At the very least, he's trying to get on here. But we do know that he has a little pop in that bat of his. 1-2. Swung on and fouled off to the right. He'll stay alive at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's what he's got to do. He's getting a lot of pitches that'll be called strikes, but he's not going to be able to put good wood on them as they're on the outer part of that plate. Doing what he can to fight off those junk pitches and try to get something he can hit and drive somewhere.
1-2 pitch on the way. Boylston swings. Chopper past the pitcher. Second baseman throw, and Boylston is out. Boylston tried his darndest to slide and try to beat the throw, but it was all for naught. Great hustle by Boylston, but Scouts go down 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the ninth. Guess what, folks? We got extra innings coming here at Grady's Field. We're tied 12-all between Licking County and Xenia. Stay tuned for the top half of the 10th. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the 10th inning. Yep, that's right. We're going to extra innings. This is the first extra inning game of the season for the Scouts, as a matter of fact. Settlers and Scouts tied at 12. Sam Drale still out there on the mound for the Scouts. Had a chance to close this one out, but he allowed 2 runs in the top half of the ninth. Scouts were retired 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the ninth, and that is why we find ourselves here in extra innings. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis, and we thank the folks that are still staying up late, at least in some parts of the country, still sticking with us here. As that pitch is swung on and missed. 0-2 count.
Yeah, we're seeing some 8th inning Sam Drale right here in the 10th as he looked at that Settlers lineup in the 8th and set them down in order. Hopefully he can do the same here in the 10th.
Pitch is swung on, hit out to shortstop. Orlando with the throw over to first, and it's over the first baseman's head. The runner will reach safely, that being Austin White. There'll be a throwing error on Noah Orlando, and boy, that's now the 7th error of the night for the Scouts. And if you want to point to one thing that's allowed Licking County to get back into this game slowly but surely, it's been the errors, Riley.
Oh, it has been the errors. And early on in that game, I was saying how they could easily forget those errors because they're up by so many, and now it has become the story of the game as these errors have allowed the Settlers to stay in this game, keep innings alive, and after those innings get kept alive, and they just keep scoring.
So now Nathan Dill comes to the plate once again for the Settlers. Struck out swinging his last time up. And now, once again, the go-ahead run is on base for Licking County. The pitch by Drale. Runner goes. Throw down to second, and they got him.
Great throw there by Truman Brown, showing he's got a cannon of his own there behind the plate.
Well, so much for having that go-ahead runner on base. One gone after the throw. That guns down White at second. Dill working with a 1-0 count now against Drale. Dill taps home plate in anticipation of this 1-0 pitch from Drale. Pitch is taken for a call, strike, 1-1 the count.
No, back to those errors, partner. I'm looking back in the scorebook, and 4 runs have scored off those errors. The guys who hit the ball and then the error was committed, they went out on a score. So if those plays were made, this is a very different ball game, and this ball game would actually probably be over.
1-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen, and now the count will move to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Dill. Chad Harper on deck for Licking County. Drale, meanwhile, back to work. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2 down here in the top half of the 10th. So now Harper comes to the plate. He flew out to center his last time up. I would imagine that both these teams are going to be tired. by the time we get to tomorrow night's game, luckily it's going to be a night game. God, can you imagine if it was a day game tomorrow? Yeesh. Chad Harper. Batting against Rail. Here's the pitch. That's a grounder over to third. Darnell with plenty of time. Throw to first. And it's a good play right there as the Settlers end up going down 1-2-3 in the inning. No runs, no hits, no man left on base. Bottom half of the 10th. The Scouts will get another chance to end this one. Game still tied at 12 apiece between the Settlers and the Scouts.
New pitcher.
Okay.
35. Was it? No, not 35. Alec Berry.
Wait, what's his name?
Alec. Was it? No, not 35. Alec Berry.
Wait, what's his name?
Alec Berry.
Okay. Oh.
6 months.
I know a kid in high school named Alex Berry. That's not good. All right. So I got.
Bacon, Darnell, Berry.
All right, you ready to come back?
Yeah.
Bottom half of the 10th inning here at Grady's Field. Tied at 12 between the Settlers and the Scouts. Alongside Riley Harshman. I'm Charlie Daniels. Zach Bacon coming to the plate once again. Well, the Scouts get a second chance here to end this game. They went down 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the 9th. Bacon walking his last time up.
Bacon will just look to do a job here, try to get on base any way he can.
He swings and misses at the first pitch. 0-1 the count. Meanwhile, new pitcher on the mound for Licking County, Alec Berry. 6'1", 220-pound right-hander. Senior from Elmhurst College. That pitch is taken on the inside for a strike. He hails from Aurora, Illinois. Mr. Berry does. And quickly an 0-2 hole here for Bacon. Berry with the pitch. That swung on. Grounder over to second. Throw to first will be in time. And it's a 4-3 put out to begin the bottom half of the 10th.
Number 17, Luke Boylston. Correction, number 15, Dugan Darnell.
So now Dugan Darnell will come to the plate. Darnell struck out swinging his last time up. And if you have to point to the guy who's been the best batter of the night, that title would probably go to Darnell, at least on the Scout side. As the pitch is a ball to Darnell. Darnell with a couple of bases loaded walks, a couple singles as well. He's got 3 RBIs on the night. Darnell swings and misses, and boy, he took a big hack at that ball, but came up empty. 1-1 the count.
You know, with those bases loaded walks that Darnell drew, it's a forgotten art just getting on base with bases loaded. You know, a lot of guys want to try to get that big swing, hit that grand slam, but Darnell was patient at the plate, didn't see a pitch he could hit too well, and ended up walking both times.
Pitch inside for a ball, 2-1 the count. Well, Darnell, like many of his teammates, still looking for a home run. He's Scouts would certainly take that in this situation, but at the same time, they're just wanting Darnell to get on base. That swung on and missed. As Darnell took another mighty hack right there. 2-2 the count. Nick Tuttle waiting on deck for the Scouts.
The Scouts, they just need a base runner because they do very well on the base paths and moving over and doing what they can. So base runner here, all they need is one to win this game.
Pitch is just outside for a ball, so we will go full 3-2. Darnell looking for a pitch to hit right here.
Don't be surprised if Darnell gets walked here. He might get a pinch runner for him. One of the faster scouts on the team, like Cam Murray, could come in and pinch run and try to take some bags.
The pitch inside. Third walk of the night for Darnell.
Number 9, Nick Tuttle.
So the winning run is on base. And here comes Nick Tuttle. Tuttle reaching on a fielder's choice and scoring. He was the guy that stole home plate in the bottom half of the 8th, and he's a big reason why we have found ourselves here in extra innings, because if he doesn't steal that home, and those 2 runs still come across for Licking County, this game might already be over. The pitch, as Tuttle takes a ball high and inside, 1-0 the count.
We might see Dugan steal here. Coach Cates would like to get him over to second, then possibly have Tuttle bunt him over to get him to third, and we'll see.
1-0 pitch. Hot shot into left field for a base hit.
That'll work too.
Darnell moves up to second as Tuttle records a single to left field. And now Noah Orlando will come to bat here. Let's see what the thought process will be here for Licking County as they have one out here in the frame. I wonder if they try to intentionally walk Orlando just to have a force at every base.
I think they leave it like this, but I'm more interested to see what Coach Cates for the Scouts does. And like I said, with Tuttle, a bunt is very possible here. With Orlando up, put guys at second and third with 2 outs, with Wright coming up in the top of the order. So that is one possibility. Or we could just let Orlando hit and see what happens.
The pitch. Noah takes a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Noah Orlando reaching on fielder's choice and scoring. Single, double, sack bunt, and a walk. Looking to deliver a big hit right here. The winning run on second in the form of Dugan Darnell. Nick Tuttle, for all intents and purposes, is inconsequential. Alec Berry sets at the belt. The delivery. That pitch misses. 1-1 the count. Very big, strong, strapping right-hander out of Elmhurst College. Throws a hard fastball. Throws a slider as well. 1-1 pitch. That's down low. 2-1 the count.
Now that Orlando's ahead in the count, going to look here to find something to drive. Because a base hit here could score Darnell and end this game. But Orlando wants to stay within himself here. Just needs to do a job some way, somehow.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Berry. That's up high. 3-1 the count for Noah Orlando. Carson Wright waits on deck for Xenia. And now Harper will go out to the mound to talk with his right-hander, Berry.
I think Berry feeling a little bit of pressure here now with runners on first and second. Orlando up, that top of the order looming after Orlando. So you got to think Berry's definitely feeling that pressure of this game on him. No one ever wants to be the guy that lets the winning run cross.
The 3-1 pitch to Orlando. That is outside for a ball. So the bases are loaded. More importantly, the winning run, potential winning run, moves up to third base.
The last thing Carson Wright wants to do here is hit the ball on the ground in the infield. You got to hit the ball hard, hit it in the air. Sack fly will do just fine here. Plenty of things that Wright can do also. Like Dugan Darnell's already done so well, a walk could easily win this game as well.
Licking County brings the infield in. The pitch to Wright. It's up high for a ball. 1-0 the count. Tie game, 12-12. We're in the bottom half of the 10th. Scouts looking to win this game here on their home field. 1-0 pitch to right. That's swung on, and it's fouled down the first baseline.
That was a good cut, good drive there by Wright. Just a bit foul. Would like to, if he straightens that out, that would definitely win the game for the Scouts.
Right now getting back into the left-handed batter's box, working against the right-hander, Alec Berry. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That gets away from the catcher!
I believe it hit Carson. That'll end the game.
It hit Carson Wright, and Darnell comes in to score. Chalk up another win for the boys.
It hit Carson. That'll end the game.
It hit Carson Wright, and Darnell comes in to score. Chalk up another win for the boys from Xenia. In one of the oddest endings I've ever seen in a baseball game. Carson Wright got hit by a pitch. Darnell comes in to score from third. Your final here at Grady's Field. Xenia 13, Licking County 12. We'll be back to wrap things up from Grady's Field in just a moment. Sure it was a hit by batter? Yeah.
They waited until he stepped on first to call it.
Grady's Field, your Scouts win tonight. 13-12 over the Settlers. Our next game will be Thursday at 7:05 against the Copperheads here at Grady's Field. We hope to see you here next.
All right, who do you want our player of the game?
Thursday, excuse me, in 2 days. Tomorrow we are on.
Let's go with Darnell.
Yeah. So, yeah, Darnell 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. That's a good day, for sure.
That's it.
3 walks, too.
Yeah.
Now we gotta look. When we over.
Yeah. 4-game winning streak. That's not bad, man. It's not bad at all.
Broadcast tonight.
What was that?
How was the broadcast out?
It worked very well tonight,
Yeah.
I think. I think it peaked at like 27. And it fluctuated. Went low, went high.
Yeah, one of our former, not former scout, one of our guys from Wright State was here tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Zach, our center fielder.
Oh, okay.
Weatherfield. You know him?
No, I don't know him personally, but.
I think he's from Springfield.
Okay.
No, where's he from? Where's Zach from? Englewood. Okay, we'll do that.
Yep, too.
Scream me out a good one tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
We'll try.
I told my wife, I said, if I knew anything about texting or anything, I'd text them guys. I'd tell them.
Yeah, Preston, Dugan's on all of it. 13-12 was the final score, correct? All right, let's just go ahead and run a little bit of the post game, if you don't mind. Not me.
Yeah, not
yeah. Yep. Welcome back to Grady's Field, where the Scouts record their 4th straight win, defeating Licking County tonight by a final of 13-12 in 10 innings. Alongside Riley Harshman, I am Charlie Danis. Boy, Riley, this was a roller coaster of a game. Scouts led this game by as much as 11-2. looked pretty good, especially after that 8-run third inning that they had earlier in this game. But slowly but surely, Licking County was able to get back into this game because of a boat full of errors by the Scouts. We end up going to extra innings. And then this game ends in such bizarre fashion.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in there, partner, with the hit by pitch walk off ending the game. And the Scouts, they had the momentum early. 8 runs batted through the order, +5 in that second inning. It looked like it was clear sailing. Caleb Eater had a very good start his last time out. Was pitching very well for those first 3 innings, and that fourth got away from him a little bit. And then he was eventually taken out in the 6th. So it is a game of momentum. It started with the Scouts, went over to Licking County, came back to the Scouts here in the end, and that's just the way it is. You got to play the momentum and play the best of your ability at all times, and that's what the Scouts did. They outlasted the Settlers tonight.
Sam Drayle will be credited as the winning pitcher tonight for Xenia. Meanwhile, Alec Berry will be hit with the loss for Licking County. We're hoping to be joined by our player of the game later on here in the post-game show. Riley, before we go to another break, this is now a 4-game winning streak for Xenia. They're above 500 for the first time this year at 5-4. I think something good is starting to cook here a little bit here in Xenia. What do you think?
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of good things from the Scouts. We saw a lot of good things in those losses early in the year, and now that rust is shaken off and this team is playing together, I think that one thing that they've really done better as of late is hitting the ball. They've done a great job hitting everyone. Top of the order to the bottom, everyone's doing their job, getting hits, getting on base. Pitching has been a little shaky, but it's gotten better. We've seen good things from plenty of pitchers, and it can only go up from here, hopefully, for the Scouts.
We'll take another break. When we come back, hopefully we'll be joined by our player of the game as we continue to wrap things up here at Grady's Field. Again, the Scouts defeat the Settlers of Licking County 13-12 in 10 innings to run their winning streak to 4 straight. Back with more in just a moment. Back here at Grace Field, where the Scouts are able to defeat the Settlers tonight by a final of 13 to able to defeat the Settlers tonight by a final of 13 to 12 in 10 innings. And alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. Riley, let's go ahead and give tonight's player of the game.
Tonight's player of the game, we had to give it to Dugan Darnell, the third baseman for the Scouts tonight. Darnell went 2 for 3 with 3 walks and scored a couple, had 3 RBIs, scored a couple runs, including that winning run off the Carson Wright hit by pitch.
So with the win tonight, that's now 4 straight wins for the Scouts as they go above 500 for the first time here in 2018. For Xenia, 13 runs on 12 hits, 10 men left on base, 7 errors in the field.
Hold on.
And meanwhile, we are actually joined by the man that we just named our player of the game, Mr. Dugan Darnell. So, Dugan, go ahead and put on that headset for us. Dugan, before we get to scoring the winning run on that hit by batters, I'm going to go back to your first couple of at-bats in this game. Couple of bases loaded walks. Take me through those at-bats and the patience that you were able to exhibit tonight.
Pretty much, I was just looking for a pitch to drive early in the count. And then once it started to get down in the count, I was protecting. But he was throwing balls down and away. And I just held up.
Let's now go to that 9th inning. You're there on third, and Carson Wright, it looked to me that initially the ball got away from home plate, but it ended up hitting him somewhere in the foot or in the ankle. Have you ever been a part of a more bizarre ending to a baseball game?
Actually, yeah, a walk-off balk pretty much is the only thing that tops that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that play as you were coming home from third? I mean, obviously you were happy about the win, but a hit by batter, no less, you know?
That was an interesting one. I didn't know what to do with myself.
This team, I feel, Dugan, is really starting to come together. 4 straight wins. You're now above 500 for the first time here in 2018 at 5-4. You know, we were talking earlier in the broadcast about how this team is finding ways to come from behind. Tonight, you had a big lead. You give up that lead, but you find a way to win it in extras. The resilience of this team continues to impress me. What do you say about that?
We're really gelling as a team now. We're starting to figure each other out and working together as teams. Everyone's supporting each other. Nobody's coming down. Everybody picks each other up. We have a great coaching staff. Bubba and Dave definitely know what they're doing. Definitely know what to say at the right times, and it's a lot of fun. We're having fun.
You know, one of the big things about playing baseball is momentum. And you guys had the momentum early. You guys lost it later in the game. So how are you guys able to regain the momentum? Because that seems to be harder to do than just gaining momentum.
It always comes back to the approach and just knowing what you can do. Obviously, if you simplify the game, just seeing the ball hit the ball, the momentum doesn't really change what kind of pitch you're going to get to hit in certain counts. So you just got to be on top of it and just trust it.
So
the momentum doesn't really change what kind of pitch you're going to get to hit in certain counts. So you just got to be on top of it and just trust it.
So you face this team tomorrow night going for the 5th straight win. What needs to be improved? What needs to keep going for this team as they look to, continue to run this win streak?
Well, for one, cleaner defense.
Yep. That's a good start.
Yep. And just, throwing strikes, playing good defense, and a lot of wins come through with that. So we'll just keep working hard and see where it goes.
All right, Dugan. Hey, thanks so much.
Thanks
Congratulations on the win tonight.
Appreciate it.
Dugan Darnell scoring the winning run tonight as the Scouts are able to triumph over the Settlers of Licking County by a final of 13-12 in 10 innings. Again, a look at the box score here real quick for both teams. Xenia scoring 13 runs on 12 hits, 10 men left on base, 7 errors in the field. Meanwhile, it is the Settlers who come up short. They have 12 runs on only 7 hits tonight. They leave a couple, let's see here, they leave 7 men on base, and they have no errors in the field. 7 men on base, and they have no errors in the field. For my broadcast partner, Riley Harshman, this is Charlie Danis saying one final time. The final score tonight for Grays Field, it is Xenia 13 and Licking County 12 in 10 innings. 4-game winning streak for your Xenia Scouts. So long and good night from Xenia, Ohio.